Imagine a world where the sun has become a tyrant. Outside these basalt cliffs, the heat is a shimmering white-hot haze that turns the air into a furnace, baking the ravine of the Wagu River into a state of breathless stillness. The birds have gone silent, hiding in the deepest crevices of the rock, and the very ground seems to vibrate with the intensity of the midday glare. But here, just a few paces inward, the world changes entirely. You step across the threshold of the cave, and the transformation is instantaneous. The brutal heat is stripped away, replaced by a cool subterranean sanctuary that tastes of damp earth, ancient stone, and the faint lingering sweetness of sandalwood incense. You are entering a realm where time does not tick. It flows like a slow, steady river. It is 480 CE, and you have found your way into a hidden workshop carved deep into the living rock of the Ajanta caves. The transition from the blinding exterior to this interior peace is profound. Your eyes adjust slowly to the low amber glow of oil lamps that dot the space like fallen stars. The walls are not merely surfaces. They are the mountain itself, shaped by generations of hands, smooth and curved, holding the secrets of 1,000 quiet hours. You are here, in the dim golden light, completely shielded from the chaos of the outside world. There are no demands here, no urgency, no expectation. There's only the rhythm of the present moment. In the center of this chamber sits an artisan. He is a man who understands that true beauty requires the shedding of haste. He sits cross-legged on a mat of woven fibers, his presence as solid and unshakable as the pillars supporting this cavern. Beside him rests a large worn stone mortar, its surface polished by years of dedicated labor. He is not a man in a hurry. He is an architect of color. Before him lie pieces of lapis lazuli, rough, jagged, and unassuming, yet holding within them the heart of the deepest night sky. He picks up the granite pestle, a heavy, perfectly balanced tool that has become an extension of his own hand, and begins the work. Listen closely. There is a sound that defines this place, a sound that acts as an anchor for your racing thoughts. It is the rhythmic, hypnotic rasp of stone against stone, scrape, sweep, dust. It is a deep, resonant vibration that echoes gently against the vaulted ceiling and retreats back into the shadows. This is not the sound of industry or forced labor. It is the sound of meditation made manifest. Every rotation of the pestle is a breath. Every pass over the azure fragments is an act of devotion. He is grinding the raw stone into the most precious blue pigment in the world, a color so intense it seems to glow even in the dimmest lamplight. As he grinds, the air fills with a fine microscopic mist of ultramarine, a royal dust that coats the workspace in a layer of quiet brilliance. You are invited to settle here in this pocket of silence. Let your shoulders drop. Let the tension in your jaw dissolve as the repetitive, soothing friction of the mortar consumes your attention. The coolness of the cavern floor radiates through the mat, grounding you, tethering you to the earth. The world outside, with its endless noise and flickering distractions, is a million miles away, locked out by the massive protective weight of the basalt. You are in a sanctuary designed for focus and peace. The artisan continues his work, unbothered by the passing of hours. The lamp flame dances a tiny golden pulse of life in the cool dark. There is nothing to do but listen to the grinding, to feel the stillness, and to allow the heavy velvet blanket of the subterranean world to wrap around you, pulling you into a state of deep, restorative rest. You are safe. You are held. You are drifting into the heart of the stone. The movement of the artisan's hand is a lesson in economy. He does not waste a single motion. Each circle of the granite pestle is measured, deliberate, and perfectly controlled. There is a profound intelligence in his stillness, a sense that he is not merely crushing stone, but coaxing a hidden spirit out of the mineral. Lapis lazuli is a stubborn material, a composite rock of deep blue lazurites, sparkling pyrites, and veins of white calcite, and it demands respect. To the uninitiated, it might seem like a monotonous task, but to him, it is an unfolding narrative. As he grinds, the distinct rough textures of the raw stone slowly yield, losing their jagged edges as they are pulverized into a fine uniform sand. The sound itself shifts as the process progresses. In the beginning, the grinding is sharp and granular, a dry, grating noise that speaks of struggle and initial resistance. But as the minutes pass and the pile of dust grows, the sound softens. It becomes a smooth, rhythmic swish, a sound that feels thick and velvety to the ears. This transition is the auditory signature of progress, a sonic bridge between the raw potential of the earth and the refined elegance of the final pigment. You find yourself leaning into this sound, letting it wash over you like a tide. It is a predictable, dependable frequency, and in its reliability, you find a deep, unconscious comfort. Consider the environment that surrounds him. These caves were not simply dug, they were envisioned. The architects and monks who carved these halls out of the basalt cliffs did so with the same spirit of patience that the artisan now applies to his mortar. They understood that permanence is a gift you give to the future. Every wall, every pillar, and every doorway was carved with the intent of creating a space that would outlast the lives of those who made it. And here you are resting in that very space, breathing the same cool air that has circulated through these tunnels for centuries. The stone walls around you are thick enough to absorb the heat of the sun and the noise of the world, acting as a natural insulator, a barrier against the entropy of time. The oil lamp, placed on a low ledge, is the only witness to this labor. Its flame is a warm orange beacon, casting shadows that stretch and shrink against the ceiling like living things. Sometimes the flame flickers as a stray breeze finds its way through the ventilation shafts, and for a moment the entire room seems to shimmer. You watch the dust, the precious ultramarine, catch the light. It hangs in the air, a suspended haze of color, beautiful and ethereal. This is the very essence of the blue that will one day adorn the eyes of a Buddha or the robes of a king on the frescoed walls of the shrine nearby. It is a color that speaks of the infinite of the sky at twilight and of the depths of the ocean. As the artisan works, he hums a low, wordless melody. It is a sound that barely registers as music, more like a vibration of contentment, a frequency that resonates with the stone itself. It blends perfectly with the grinding. The combination is a sedative for the mind. You try to follow the path of the pestle, tracing the invisible circle it carves in the mortar, and with every rotation you feel your thoughts losing their sharp edges, just like the stone. Your concerns, your to-do lists, the pressures of your daily life, they are all being ground down, smoothed out, and turned into something softer, something lighter. This sanctuary is a place where you are allowed to be empty. For so much of our lives, we are filled with noise, opinions, data, and the relentless speed of modern existence. But here, the only thing that matters is the next rotation. The artisan pauses occasionally, not to rest, but to check the consistency of the powder. He runs a calloused finger through the blue pile, testing the grain between his thumb and forefinger. His expression is one of serene focus, a look of profound satisfaction. He knows that haste is the enemy of quality, and he embraces the slow, steady march toward completion. The coolness of the cave continues to envelop you. It is a refreshing, clean cold, the kind that wakes up your senses even as it lulls your mind to sleep. You can feel the weight of the mountain above you, a reassuring reminder of the sheer solid mass that separates you from the outside world. It is a fortress of peace. The air is still, so still that you can hear the faint distant drip of water somewhere deep within the mountain, a solitary rhythmic sound that keeps time with the heart of the earth. Every breath you take is deeper than the last, slower, more rhythmic. You are perfectly in sync with this subterranean world, a part of the workshop, a part of the history, a part of the silence. The rhythm is everything. It has become the heartbeat of the cavern, a steady, pulsing cadence that dictates the flow of time within these walls. The artisan's arm moves with a grace born of decades of repetition, a fluid circular motion that never falters, never hesitates, and never accelerates. He is a master of the middle path, avoiding the frantic energy of the impatient and the stagnation of the lazy. He exists in that perfect golden middle ground where effort is effortless and creation is an act of breathing. Notice how the light from the oil lamp plays upon the surface of the blue powder. As the mortar is filled, the pile takes on a shape of its own, a soft conical mound that glows with an internal intensity. Lapis lazuli is a deceptive stone. In its raw form, it looks like a humble, dark and uneven rock, barely hinting at the vibrant color hidden within its structure. It is only through this long persistent friction that the truth of the stone is revealed. The grinding acts as a revealer of mysteries. It strips away the outer, less noble layers to expose the concentrated beauty of the mineral. Consider this a metaphor for your own journey into rest. Just as the stone must be broken down to become pigment, your mind must be broken down, stripped of its sharp, jagged thoughts and its defensive layers, to reach the state of pure, quiet presence. You are currently in the midst of this process. The frantic, analytical parts of your consciousness are being smoothed away by the hypnotic sound of the stone. Each cycle of the pestle is a layer being shed, the worries of yesterday gone, the anxieties of tomorrow. They have no purchase here in the cool, timeless air of this workshop. The silence of the cave is not empty, it is full. It is full of the potential for art, full of the history of the artisans who stood here before, and full of the peace that you are finally allowing yourself to inhabit. Listen to the way the sound of the pestle interacts with the room. Because the walls are carved from dense basalt, they do not absorb sound in the way that soft modern materials do. Instead, they reflect it with a gentle, mellow resonance. The sound travels up the curves of the walls, dances across the vaulted ceiling, and settles back down into the chamber, softened and enriched. It is like being inside a musical instrument, a giant stone resonance chamber designed to amplify the beauty of the present moment. You can almost smell the earth itself. There is a deep primal scent to these caves, a combination of cool dust, minerals, and the slow, steady drip of moisture from the depths of the mountain. It is a clean, honest scent that clears the sinuses and settles the spirit. It reminds you that you are part of a world much older than the one you usually inhabit. The Ajanta caves are not just a historical site, they are a monument to human focus. Thousands of hours were spent here, chisel by chisel, lamp by lamp, to create a space of sanctuary. And now you are benefiting from that labor. The intention of those ancient creators still lingers, a subtle vibration in the air that welcomes you into this state of rest. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, the boundaries of your physical form seem to blur. You are no longer just an observer watching an artisan in 480 CE. You are becoming part of the scene. You are the shadow stretching across the wall. You are the flicker of the lamp. You are the cool air moving against the stone. Your breathing has slowed to match the cadence of the grinding. A long rhythmic inhalation followed by a soft, weightless release. There is no struggle, no resistance, only the peaceful, steady descent into a deeper layer of yourself. The artisan stops for a moment and for a heartbeat. The silence is absolute. It is a heavy, delicious silence that presses gently against your skin. You feel the absolute security of the mountain above you. Thousands of tons of rock providing a ceiling that will never fail, never break, and never allow the noise of the world to intrude. In this brief pause, you feel the weight of your own body settling into the mat, your muscles uncoiling, your nervous system finally signaling that it is safe to let go. This is the goal of the workshop, not just the production of pigment, but the production of clarity. Through the simple act of focusing on one thing, you have achieved everything. You have cleared the path for rest, and the rest is waiting for you, deep, dark, and inviting. The artisan resumes his work, the rhythm picking up exactly where it left off, as if time itself had merely held its breath in anticipation. You are enveloped in the familiar grounding friction once more, a sonic cocoon that shields you from any lingering restlessness. As the lamp's flame flickers, casting dancing silhouettes against the ancient carved rock, you feel a profound sense of connection to this place. You are not a stranger here. You are an essential part of this silent, sacred enclave. The deeper you sink into this state of relaxation, the more you realize that the external world, the one of deadlines, rushing, and constant information, was never truly your home. Your true home is here, in the quiet, in the deliberate pace of existence, and in the profound beauty of things crafted with patience. As you drift, let your mind become like the lapis lazuli itself, raw perhaps, but capable of being transformed into something brilliant. The artisan's steady hand continues its work, a tireless meditation that echoes your own desire for peace. Feel your limbs growing heavy, anchored to the cool floor, while your mind begins to soar through the dark, comfortable expanse of this subterranean sanctuary. The cool air is a gentle blanket, and the scent of stone and thyme is a lullaby. You are safe within the heart of the mountain, shielded by layers of history and the unwavering focus of the craftsman. If you find this sanctuary has become your favorite retreat, consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications. By joining our community, you ensure that you can always find your way back to these peaceful historical refuges whenever the world outside becomes too loud or too demanding. Your support helps us continue to craft these immersive, restorative journeys through time, allowing us to bring you new soothing stories that act as a gateway to deep relaxation and historical wonder. Let this be your anchor in a busy world, a recurring invitation to pause, breathe, and find your center alongside us. The grinding continues, a sound that has now become the soundtrack of your transition into sleep. Each circle of the pestle pulls you deeper away from the waking world and into the restorative depths of your own consciousness. There is no urgency to arrive at a destination. The journey itself is the prize. The fine blue powder is now mounting up, a testament to the time invested, a monument to the virtue of going slow. Observe how the shadow of the artisan moves in time with your own heart, a slow, steady pulse that keeps everything in perfect equilibrium. The lamp is dimming slightly, the oil burning low, but the light is sufficient to illuminate the piece etched onto the artisan's face. He is content, and because he is content, you are content. Surrender to the rhythm. There is a weightless quality to the air now, a sensation of floating just above the woven mat. The heavy basalt walls have absorbed all the noise of the universe, leaving behind only the pure resonant frequency of the grinding stone. You are being lured gently and effectively into the sanctuary of your own dreams. The blue dust, so brilliantly colored, symbolizes the clarity you have achieved, the vibrant, unpolluted nature of your mind when it is allowed to rest. Every detail of this workshop is designed to pull you away from the tension of your daily life and into the expansive, quiet comfort of 480CE. Stay in this space. Let the sounds dissolve the boundaries between yourself and the environment, and prepare to drift into the deepest, most restorative sleep you have known in a long time. The journey is nearly complete, and the destination is nothing but calm. The atmosphere within the cavern has shifted. The air is now heavy with the fine, microscopic particles of the grinding stone, creating a soft, blue-tinged haze that diffuses the light of the oil lamp. It is a dreamlike, ethereal quality that makes the entire workshop feel as though it is submerged beneath the surface of a deep, still ocean. The sound of the pestle has evolved once again. It is no longer just a rasp, but a melodic humming friction, a sound so consistent and predictable that your brain has stopped trying to analyze it. Instead, you have surrendered entirely to the frequency, letting it act as a rhythmic pulse that synchronizes your breathing with the slow, deliberate work of the artisan. Consider the journey of the stone. It began as a fragment of rock, a geological relic formed under unimaginable pressure and heat deep within the Earth's crust. It was mined, transported, and finally brought here to be refined, and now you are witnessing its final transformation. In this small, intimate space, you are realizing that you too are undergoing a transformation. The pressure of your day, the heat of your concerns, and the jagged edges of your stress are being smoothed out by the exact same patient process. You are being refined, bit by bit, rotation by rotation. The floor beneath you feels solid, a constant, unchanging foundation that supports you, and you feel the tension leaving your shoulders, cascading down your arms and disappearing into the cool, dark floor of the workshop. The oil lamp flickers, casting a golden glow that reflects off the damp basalt walls. There is a sense of immense history in these walls, a feeling that they have seen this process 1,000 times before. In the year 480 CE, the world outside was full of kingdoms rising and falling, empires expanding, and the relentless march of trade and war. But inside these Ajanta caves, the world was fixed in a state of quiet devotion. The artists here were not concerned with the vanity of the world above. They were concerned with the truth of the image, the purity of the color, and the integrity of the work. You are breathing the same air that they breathed, smelling the same mixture of stone, oil, and incense. It is a grounding, humbling experience to realize that the fundamental human need for peace, for quiet, and for the simple, repetitive act of creation has remained unchanged across centuries. You notice now that your eyes have grown heavy. The flickering light of the lamp has become a hypnotic beacon, a point of focus that draws you further into the quiet. There is no desire to move, no urge to check the time, no impulse to return to the world of lights and screens. You are here, in the cool, silent depths of the mountain, and that is enough. The artisan pauses, his hand resting for a moment on the mortar. He is not tired, he is simply savoring the silence. And in that pause, you find a moment of absolute crystalline clarity. The world is reduced to the sound of your own slow, steady heartbeat and the occasional distant drip of water from the cavern ceiling. It is a moment of pure existence, untethered from the past or the future, existing only in the blessed serene present. Let the coolness of the cavern seep into your very bones. Feel the chill of the basalt walls, the temperature of the deep earth that remains constant, indifferent to the burning sun of the desert above. It is a refreshing, clean, and restorative cold that slows your heart rate and signals your body that it is time to rest. You are wrapped in a layer of silence so thick it feels like a heavy velvet blanket. There is no possibility of distraction here. Every sound is muffled, every light is softened, and every thought is slowed to a crawl. You are transitioning into a place where the ego dissolves, where the boundaries of the self become porous, and where you can simply be. This is the ultimate gift of the subterranean workshop, the space to be nothing, to do nothing, and to be perfectly at peace in the heart of the mountain. The silence has deepened, evolving into a living, breathing entity that cradles you in its arms. The artisan has returned to his rhythm, the granite pastel gliding with a renewed, almost liquid grace. The pile of lapis lazuli is no longer a collection of fragments. It is a fine, vibrant blue sea of powder, a reservoir of color that seems to hold the very soul of the sky. As you watch the light from the oil lamp play tricks on your vision, making the blue dust appear to ripple as if caught in a gentle current, you find yourself drifting with it, your consciousness expanding to fill the chamber, becoming as vast and calm as the space itself. You are no longer just an observer. You are the silent witness to an ancient alchemical process that is as essential to the spirit as it is to the art. Think of how much of your life is spent in resistance, resisting the passage of time, resisting the requirements of others, resisting the quiet moments that call for your attention. In this hidden workshop, resistance is impossible. The mountain has no resistance. It accepts the carving. The stone has no resistance. It accepts the grinding. The artisan has no resistance. He accepts the work. And now you have no resistance. You are flowing with the natural, steady pace of the cavern. Every muscle in your body is loose, draped over the mat like silk. Your jaw is unclenched. Your shoulders are dropped, and your mind is an empty, beautiful vessel waiting to be filled with the peace of this moment. The environment here is designed to foster a sense of complete safety. You are thousands of feet below the surface, protected by the massive, unyielding weight of the basalt cliffs. No storm can reach you here, no noise can penetrate these walls, and no anxiety can follow you into this sanctuary. It is a place of profound, protective isolation. You are in a womb of stone, a cradle of history, where the only thing that matters is the rhythm of your own breath and the steady hypnotic friction of the pestle. This is the ultimate form of protection, the kind that comes not from walls of iron, but from the simple, unwavering presence of a place that exists outside of time. As the artisan continues, he occasionally adjusts his posture, his movements so slight that they barely register. He is deeply in tune with the stone, feeling the density of the powder, sensing the exact moment when it has reached the perfect velvet consistency. He is a master of his craft, and you are the beneficiary of his dedication. He does not know you are here, yet his work is serving you, his rhythm is grounding you, and his peace is becoming your own. There is a beautiful, silent communion in this, a bridge between a man in 480 CE and a person in the modern world, built on the shared fundamental human desire for beauty, focus, and deep restorative stillness. Sleepy History with Arthur is a sleep history storytelling platform created for entertainment, inspiration, education, and the promotion of positive emotional values. The lamp is flickering more slowly now, the oil nearing its end, casting long golden shadows that seem to dance in celebration of your arrival at the threshold of sleep. You feel a heaviness in your eyelids that is not a burden but a welcome invitation to let go. The world of the senses is fading, leaving behind only the pure abstract concept of the color blue. A blue so deep and serene it covers your mind like a tranquil ocean. The sound of the grinding is now a distant soothing hum, a lullaby that vibrates in the floor beneath you. You are at peace. You are ready. The mountain is holding you in its dark, cool embrace, and you are finally blissfully ready to drift into the deep, quiet waters of sleep. You let go of the last remnants of the day, letting them dissolve into the fine blue dust until there is nothing left but the silence, the dark, and the promise of rest. The transition is complete. You are home. The darkness of the cave is not a hollow, empty void. It is a rich velvet tapestry that seems to hold the very essence of the earth within its folds. You are deeper now, anchored in a state of suspended animation, where the distinction between your own physical form and the cool, damp rock around you begins to blur. The air is exceptionally still, carrying the faint, earthy fragrance of pulverized basalt and the mineral tang of the lapis lazuli. It is a clean, antiseptic purity that seems to scrub away the lingering fatigue of your day, leaving your mind clear and receptive. Every breath you draw feels like it is cooling your inner self, reaching down into the core of your being and calming the frantic energy that defines your waking hours. You feel the texture of the woven mat beneath you, its rough, natural fibers providing a grounded, tactile reminder of your presence in this space. It is a humble foundation, yet it feels more luxurious than any bed, because here, in the heart of the Ajanta cliffs, the ground itself offers you stability. The artisan continues his labor, his movements now so deeply internalized that he seems to be part of the cavern's architecture. He is the heartbeat of the room, The rhythm of the pestle, that soft, recurring shush, scrape, shush, has become the metronome of your own consciousness. With each revolution, you feel your heartbeat slowing to match the tempo, a gentle deceleration that leads you further into the quiet landscape of your mind. The flickering oil lamp has become a secondary concern. You no longer need to see to understand where you are. You can feel the geometry of the space through the way the sound waves bounce off the curved walls. The ceiling, arched like the roof of a great temple, holds the silence and gives it a resonant quality. Every movement of the artisan's hand creates a subtle atmospheric pressure, a gentle push of air that you can feel against your skin, like a soft breeze in a windless canyon. You are being lulled by the physics of this ancient place, by the interplay of stone and sound, by the sheer overwhelming peace that inhabits every cubic inch of this subterranean sanctuary. There is a profound sense of trust here. You are not just visiting a place, you are entering into a pact with the earth. You are trusting the mountain to shelter you, to keep the world away, to allow you this brief, precious window of absolute rest. In 480 CE, the world was a different place, yet the human need for such a refuge remained the same. There is a solace in this shared experience across time, knowing that someone somewhere once sat in this exact spot, in this exact way, seeking the same tranquility you seek now. You are connected to a long chain of people who have found peace in the grinding of stone, in the creation of color, and in the quiet wisdom of the dark. As you lean further into the experience, you notice that your thoughts have stopped trying to narrate your life. There is no longer a voice in your head telling you what to do next or analyzing how you feel. There is only the sensation of being. The blue pigment is piling up beside the mortar, a growing mound of brilliant ultramarine promise. It is the color of the divine, the color of the infinite, the color of the silence that exists between the stars. As the artisan's work draws to a close, you feel a sense of completion settling over the entire room. The task is almost done, the color is prepared, and you are ready to let go of the last threads of wakefulness. The coolness of the cavern is a promise that you will sleep deeply, dreamless, and refreshed. You are sinking gently and effortlessly into the cradle of the earth. The stillness is absolute now, profound and heavy, like the deepest part of the ocean where light cannot reach, and where all movement ceases. You are floating in this vast, cool expanse, detached from the weight of your physical body. The artisan has entered a trance-like state, his body moving not by conscious thought, but by the muscle memory of 1,000 nights spent in this very workshop. His eyes are soft, unfocused, and turned inward, reflecting the same depth of tranquility that you are now inhabiting. He is a silent guardian of the blue, a gatekeeper of the color that will soon be painted onto the walls of the great prayer halls. You realize that you are witnessing something timeless, an act that bridges the gap between the material and the ethereal. The scent of the workshop has shifted. The sharpness of the raw stone has faded, replaced by the cool, dusty smell of pulverized mineral, a smell that is reminiscent of crushed violets and deep mountain rain. It is a calming, grounding aroma that seems to fill your lungs and settle into your very marrow. You feel as though you are breathing in the history of this place, absorbing the patience and the dedication of the centuries that have passed since these walls were first carved. The temperature is perfect, a constant, refreshing cool that prevents any sense of stuffiness or heat from ever reaching you. You are enveloped in the very breath of the mountain, a sanctuary that exists beyond the reach of the outside world. Listen to the echo. It is no longer just a sound, it is a tactile presence. Every scrape of the granite pestle creates a wave of sound that travels along the curved walls and gently brushes against your senses. It is a slow, rhythmic pulse that you feel in your chest. It is not an external sound anymore. It is the rhythm of your own heart. Your heartbeat has synchronized with the work, a steady, measured cadence that indicates a state of total relaxation. You have let go of all the tension that once held you in a state of alertness. There is nothing to guard against here. There is no one to impress, no deadlines to meet, and no expectations to fulfill. You are finally entirely free. The blue powder is so vibrant that it seems to emit its own inner light. It is a deep velvety ultramarine, the kind of color that makes you feel as though you are looking into the night sky from the top of a mountain. It is vast, it is infinite, and it is peaceful. As you watch the pile grow, you feel your consciousness expanding to match it. You are becoming as vast as the color, as quiet as the stone, and as still as the cave. The boundaries of yourself are dissolving, leaving only a sense of pure, unadulterated existence. You are part of the workshop, part of the history, part of the quiet, dark, and protective embrace of the mountain. Sleepy History with Arthur combines the power of AI to reimagine fictional historical tales, bringing peace, relaxation, and positive emotional values to our listeners. The lamp is now a mere ember, casting only the softest, most ethereal glow. The shadows have retreated, leaving the room in a state of soft, blue-tinted twilight. The silence is no longer just quiet. It is a weight, a warm and heavy blanket that tucks you in and holds you fast. Your eyelids are heavy, and the urge to sleep is no longer a choice, but a natural, irresistible progression of the evening. You are drifting, turning, and finally sinking into the cool, dark floor of the chamber. There is no resistance left. There is only the feeling of being held by the mountain, cradled in the silence, and finally peacefully ready to let go of everything and sleep. You are drifting into a sea of blue, a place of rest where you will find the deep, restorative quiet you have been seeking. The journey has led you to this moment, and this moment is all there is. The cave has become a sanctuary of shadows and soft, shimmering blue light. The artisan's work is nearing its conclusion, but the atmosphere remains as steady and undisturbed as it was when the night began. You feel the cool air of the mountain against your skin, a refreshing clean chill that invites you to pull your awareness inward, away from the world of light and sound, and into the darkness. There is a profound sense of security here, a knowledge that the thick ancient basalt walls have created a space that is truly separate from the rest of the world. You are safe, you are held, you are drifting into a state of total unadulterated peace. If you are finding yourself drifting into this deep state of calm, consider subscribing and joining our journey. Your presence here helps us sustain this workshop of history and imagination, allowing us to continue crafting these spaces of restoration for you. By following along, you ensure that you always have a place to retreat to when the world feels too demanding, a sanctuary of stories that lead you back to your own inner stillness. We invite you to become a permanent member of our quiet community, where the focus is always on your peace and the beauty of the human story. As the lamp begins to fade, the colors in the room shift. The vibrant blue of the lapis lazuli seems to glow with a life of its own, capturing the last of the golden light and reflecting it back as a deep, mysterious indigo. You find your thoughts turning into images, the slow turning of the pastel, the texture of the stone, the soft curved walls of the cave, and the steady rhythmic breathing of the artisan. These images are not sharp or demanding, they are soft, blurred, and distant, like memories viewed through a veil of silk. You are becoming comfortable with this distance. You are letting go of the need to be alert, to be productive, or to be present in the waking world. Think of the mountain above you. It is a massive, silent presence, a pillar of earth that has stood for millions of years. It knows nothing of your worries, your schedules, or the fleeting concerns of your daily life. It knows only the steady geological time of the earth, the slow accumulation of minerals, and the ancient, quiet power of the rock. By lying here beneath the mountain, you are tapping into that same ancient stillness. You are allowing yourself to be small, to be cared for by the earth, and to let go of the burden of self importance that usually weighs you down. It is a relief, isn't it? To simply be and to let the world continue its spin without you for a few hours. The air in the cave is so still that you can hear the rhythm of your own blood, a faint, pulsing sound that matches the slow, deep beat of the mountain itself. You are completely in sync with the environment. Every breath you take is deeper, slower, and more deliberate than the last. You are being lured by the silence, by the smell of the stone, and by the knowledge that this place will be here, waiting for you whenever you need to return. The artisan has stopped grinding, his hands now folded in his lap, his eyes closed, and his spirit resting in the same peace that you are now entering. There is no more work to be done. The pigment is ready, the day is over, and the sanctuary is full of silence. You are at the edge of the deepest sleep, a blue, quiet sea of rest, and you are ready to let yourself go entirely, sink into it. Let the blue light of the stone wash over you, let the cool air of the cave settle in your lungs, and let the silence become your dream. The transition is nearly complete. You are now fully submerged in the quiet, cool depths of the subterranean workshop, and the world above has ceased to exist. There is no longer a path leading out of the caves. No sky, no sun, no sound of wind or the bustle of human endeavor. There is only this room, this stone, and the profound, heavy peace that resides between these walls. The artisan remains in his posture of repose, a silent statue of devotion, his breathing so slow that it is barely perceptible, a whisper of air that joins the ancient silence of the mountain. You are mirroring his stillness, your body heavy and sinking into the comfort of the woven mat, your muscles completely surrendered to the gravity of the earth. The blue powder now, a finished pristine mountain of ultramarine, sits in the center of the mortar like a dormant volcano, its beauty hidden in its depth. It is a color that captures the very essence of the infinite, and as you gaze at it, or perhaps as you imagine gazing at it, you feel your mind beginning to mimic that vastness. You are no longer thinking in linear time, you are thinking in the cyclical, repetitive time of the artisan. The past is a flicker, the future is an empty space, and the present is a single perfect note of silence. You are completely untethered, drifting on a calm sea of indigo, guided only by the gentle receding ripples of the grinding stone's rhythm. Consider the physical sensation of the air. It is cool, almost biting, yet it is a refreshing cold that cleanses the mind. It feels like the air of a high mountain peak at dawn, thin, pure, and invigoratingly quiet. It enters your lungs, bringing with it the scent of crushed lapis lazuli and the damp, stony fragrance of the cave floor. Every inhale is a replenishing act, every exhale a release of everything that has been cluttering your consciousness. You are letting go of the need for control. You are acknowledging that you do not need to direct your thoughts. You can simply watch them, like distant clouds passing over the surface of a deep, dark lake. They have no power over you here. The shadows have taken over the room. The oil lamp, once a golden presence, is now little more than a tiny glowing dot, a miniature ember that is slowly fading into the absolute darkness of the workshop. This darkness is not something to be feared. It is a soft, protective blanket that wraps around you, shielding your eyes from the distractions of the visual world and allowing your inner vision to flourish. You can feel the safety of the stone surrounding you, a massive, unyielding shell that keeps the world at bay. There is a sense of belonging in this darkness, as if you have returned to a place you have always known, a primordial home where rest is the only requirement. As you drift further, the rhythm of your own heart becomes the only clock you recognize. It is slow, deep, and perfectly steady. You are in harmony with the environment, a human element integrated into the geological stillness of the Ajanta cliffs. The artisan's presence is a comforting anchor, a reminder that you are not alone in this search for peace, but are part of a long lineage of people who have found solace in the quiet, purposeful work of their hands. You feel your limbs growing heavier, your heartbeat slowing, your mind softening into the dark. There is no more work to be done. The pigment is ready, the workshop is still. You are ready to close your eyes fully and completely and let the silence of the mountain carry you into the deepest, most restorative sleep. You are drifting, drifting down into the blue, into the dark, into the peace. The silence within the Ajanta chamber has evolved. It is no longer merely the absence of noise. It has become a tangible weight, a soft, velvet pressure that coats every surface and cradles your very existence. The air itself feels different, thick with the history of the stone and the residual energy of centuries of meditative labor. You are suspended in this environment, existing in a space where time has surrendered its authority. There is no urgency here, no need for resolution, no requirement for the mind to reach any final destination. The artisan's work is complete and the cavern is finally truly at rest. The flickering light of the lamp has dwindled to a tiny pulsing spark, an ember that seems to beat in synchrony with your own slowing pulse. It is a comforting rhythmic flicker, a reminder of the life that has occupied this space, now transitioning into the deep, dark serenity of the coming night. You can feel the coolness of the basalt floor rising up to meet you, a steady, constant temperature that draws the remaining heat from your skin and leaves you feeling light, airy, and profoundly refreshed. It is the coolness of the deep earth, the temperature of the mountain's heart, a sensation that encourages you to sink even deeper into the mat. Every muscle in your body has been accounted for and released. Your toes, your legs, your abdomen, your chest, all are slack, unburdened by the requirements of the waking world. Your shoulders, often the carriers of your daily stress, are now loose and dropped, as if the tension has been put out of you and absorbed into the very stone of the floor. You are a part of the architecture, a silent, peaceful addition to the sanctuary. The smell of the crushed lapis lazuli is still present, though faint now, a lingering fragrance of mineral dust and ancient possibilities. It acts as a grounding agent, a sensory bridge that keeps you anchored in the present while your consciousness prepares to drift into the dream state. It is an honest, pure scent, free of artifice, and it carries with it the dignity of the artisan's craft. You find that you no longer need to see to know where you are. You can map the room by the gentle hollow sound of the mountain's own breathing, the deep resonant sigh of the cliffs as they settle, the faint distant trickle of moisture deep within the strata, and the total blissful absence of any human noise. You are sheltered by the most permanent structure imaginable, protected by the very geology of the world. There is a sense of belonging here, an understanding that you are where you were meant to be. The chaotic, vibrant world of 48 CE, with its trade routes, its political movements, and its daily struggles, feels like a distant, irrelevant dream. You have bypassed all of that. You have found a secret door into the silence, the hidden workshop where only the essentials remain: the stone, the color, the hand, and the soul. You are experiencing the same clarity that the monks of Ajanta must have felt when they first stepped into these caves to find refuge from the blistering sun of the river valley. You are walking in their footsteps, but you are not walking anymore. You are resting. As you lie here, your inner landscape starts to mimic the outer one. The colors in your mind are shifting from the frantic hues of the day to the deep calming indigo of the lapis lazuli. The edges of your thoughts are softening, blurring into the shadows of the cave. You are becoming a vessel for the silence, a container for the peace of the mountain. Every breath you take is a deliberate release of the last of your resistance. You are giving yourself permission to stop, to cease the internal monologue, to end the search for meaning, and to simply exist within the cradle of the dark. The peace you feel is a physical sensation, a slow, gentle wave that washes over you, ensuring that when you finally do slip into sleep, it will be deep, dreamless, and absolute. The workshop is quiet, the mountain is still, and you are ready. The lamp has finally succumbed, its last flicker dying away into the velvet embrace of the cavern. Darkness is now absolute, a thick protective shroud that renders the boundaries of the workshop invisible. In this total absence of light, your other senses have sharpened, reaching out into the cool, silent air to anchor your presence. You can feel the massive weight of the cliff above you, an infinite ceiling of stone that guarantees your isolation from the demands and disruptions of the surface world. There is no anxiety in this darkness, only a profound, velvety relief. It is as if the mountain itself has breathed a sigh of contentment, and you are tucked safely within that exhalation. You are floating in a void that is not empty, but filled with the density of time and the quiet pulse of the earth. If you find that this sanctuary has become a necessary retreat for your mind, consider subscribing to our channel and sharing your journey with our community. By hitting the notification bell, you ensure that you can always return to this sacred subterranean space whenever the external world feels too loud or chaotic. Your support allows us to maintain these portals into history, ensuring that the legacy of the Ajanta artisans and the meditative power of their craft remain a source of tranquility for all who seek it. Together, we can preserve this space of reflection, ensuring it is always waiting for you when the day is done and your need for rest is at its peak. Your breathing has reached a state of perfect autonomous grace. It is slow, deep, and rhythmic, mirroring the slow, patient rotation of the seasons or the long, steady shifts of the tectonic plates that birth this valley. There is no effort in this act. Your body knows how to rest, and you have finally stepped out of the way to allow it to happen. The cold of the cavern has permeated your skin, not as an intrusion but as a calming balm. It acts as a final barrier between you and the worries of your waking life, sealing you into this moment of pure, uninterrupted stillness. You feel as though you are a stone yourself, smoothed by the current of time, settled into the deep, quiet riverbed of the mountain's interior. The lingering scent of the lapis lazuli is a ghostly presence, a gentle reminder of the color that will soon grace the walls of the great prayer hall. Even in the darkness, you can visualize that brilliant, impossible blue. It is the color of the night sky in the desert, the color of the deep, untouched sea, the color of the void from which all things emerge. It is a peaceful, introspective color, and by holding it in your mind, you are further smoothing the edges of your own consciousness. Every thought of the day is being dipped in this ultramarine silence, transformed into something quiet, something manageable, something beautiful. There is no need for logic or analysis here, only the experience of being in this place at this time for this reason. You are drifting further, the current of your awareness pulling you away from the shore of wakefulness and into the vast calm ocean of sleep. The silence is no longer just around you. It is inside you, filling the spaces where stress used to live, replacing the noise of your life with the resonant hum of the mountain. You are perfectly secure, perfectly relaxed, and perfectly prepared for the journey into dreams. The world will be there tomorrow, but for now it does not exist. There is only the darkness, the cool stone, the rhythm of your heart, and the absolute promise of restorative, deep, and dreamless sleep. Let the gravity of the earth pull you down into the soft velvet dark. You are resting. You are still, you are completely and utterly at peace. The darkness has become a warm, familiar presence, a gentle wrap that shields your consciousness from the last flickers of external awareness. You are deeper within the Ajanta mountain now, descending further into the silence than you have ever traveled before. The cavern air, once merely cool, now feels like a soft, invisible blanket, a protective layer that stabilizes your internal temperature and lowers your heart rate to a state of meditative calm. Every breath you draw feels as though it is filtered through the ancient stone itself, coming to you clean, steady, and laden with the quiet dignity of the ages. You are no longer just a person in a room. You are an extension of the earth, an integral component of this vast, subterranean landscape where silence is the primary architecture. Think of the mountain as a massive living entity that has accepted you into its fold. It is indifferent to the trivialities of the human experience, yet it provides a sanctuary for those who understand the value of stillness. You are resting on its foundation, the very heart of the basalt cliff that has withstood the erosion of centuries. This connection is grounding in the most literal sense. You feel the weight of the rock above you, not as pressure but as a promise of stability, a guarantee that here, in the heart of the mountain, nothing can shift, nothing can change, and nothing can disturb your path towards sleep. The world outside is a realm of turbulence, but this is a realm of absolute immutable peace. Your senses have retracted from the external, focusing entirely on the internal rhythm of your own body. You can feel the slow, steady pulse of blood moving through your veins, a quiet, rhythmic thrum that serves as a reminder of the life force that persists even in the stillness. There is no urgency in this pulse. It is the steady beat of someone who has nowhere else to be, someone who has finally arrived at the destination of their own tranquility. This is the goal of the long, arduous journey of your day, to reach this point, where the mind is blank, the body is heavy, and the spirit is completely at ease. The artisan's work, which began as a mechanical process, has transformed into a spiritual anchor, keeping you tethered to this moment of pure, unadulterated existence. The memory of the blue pigment, that vibrant, crushed lapis lazuli, remains a soft light in the back of your mind. Even in the absolute darkness of the cave, you can perceive its presence, a soothing indigo glow that radiates calm. It is the color of transition, the bridge between the day and the night, the threshold of sleep. By holding this image, you are effectively painting your own consciousness with the same devotion that the ancient artist brought to his work. You are smoothing out the jagged edges of your thoughts, grinding away the sharp points of your anxieties, and refining your mental state into something fine, uniform, and beautiful. You are doing the work of an artisan, crafting your own peaceful reality, one thought at a time. As you drift toward the edge of sleep, the boundaries between the physical cave and the dream space begin to dissolve. The cavern walls seem to expand, becoming vast and endless, a cathedral of silence that has no limits. You are no longer constrained by the physical form. You are becoming the silence itself. You are the cool air. You are the steady stone. You are the darkness, and you are the peace. Every worry has been relinquished. Every responsibility has been set aside, and every demand of the waking world has been silenced by the sheer overwhelming beauty of this moment. You are ready to step into the final phase of your rest where sleep awaits, deep and refreshing, like the cool, silent waters of a subterranean lake. You are drifting into that water now, sinking past the light, past the sound, into the absolute perfect quiet of the dark. You are resting, and the rest is profound. You are drifting through the final currents of wakefulness, carried by a sensation that is not unlike floating in a dark, cool stream. The awareness of your physical self has diminished to a mere suggestion, a gentle weight against the woven mat, a slight rise and fall of your chest. This is the ultimate stage of the retreat, where the distinction between the mountain stillness and your own inner peace has vanished entirely. You are no longer in the cave. The cave is in you. The cool, damp, and mineral-rich air is the atmosphere of your own mind, spacious and unburdened, while the absolute darkness is the sanctuary where your thoughts go to rest. There is nothing left to hold on to, no task to finalize, and no tomorrow to anticipate. The infinite comforting now has expanded to encompass the entirety of your existence. The silence here has a texture. It is thick, soft, and resonant, like the hush that settles over a valley after the first deep snowfall. It absorbs every remaining tremor of restlessness, pulling the last flickers of tension from your limbs and depositing them into the solid, unyielding earth. You feel entirely supported by the mountain, as if the floor beneath you is a cradling hand, keeping you steady and secure. There is a primal comfort in this, a return to a state of being where existence is enough, where the simple rhythm of breathing is the highest form of achievement. The artisan's work is complete, and his piece has become your own, a silent legacy left behind in the dust and the stone, waiting for you to claim it. Consider the journey you have taken to arrive at this point. You have moved through the light and heat of the outside world, crossed the threshold into the cool shadow of the past, and followed the rhythmic, hypnotic path of the pastel until the noise of your own life was completely drowned out. You have shed the complexities of your identity, the roles you play, and the expectations you carry, leaving them behind like heavy garments on the threshold of the cave. You are bare, simple, and ready. You are the raw material that has been ground down by the gentle friction of the workshop until all that remains is the fine, brilliant, and pure essence of rest. This is not a loss, it is a profound reclamation. You are coming back to your center, to the core of your being that remains untouched by the chaos of the world. The darkness is no longer a void, it is a field of potential, the rich soil from which your dreams will soon sprout. You can feel the quiet, fertile energy of the place, a sense of stillness that is not static but expectant. You are at the edge of the deepest layer of consciousness, a place where the logic of the waking world no longer applies. Here, the colors are more vibrant, the sensations are more acute, and the silence is a language in itself. You are perfectly safe here. The mountain is an impenetrable fortress of calm, a garden of your peace that will remain standing long after you have moved on from this rest. Trust in this, trust in the weight of the stone, the stillness of the air, and the inevitable soft descent into the waters of sleep. As the last traces of your day dissolve, you feel a sense of profound liberation. The weight has lifted, the tension has dissipated, the world has been put to sleep, and you are following suit. There is no urgency in this descent, no need to hurry into the dark. It is a slow, luxurious sinking into the comfort of the unknown. Your heart rate is steady, your mind is quiet, and your spirit is anchored in the absolute peace of the Ajanta workshop. The blue pigment, the stone mortar, the rhythmic scrape of the granite, all have performed their task, guiding you, shielding you, and bringing you to this threshold. You are ready to close your eyes completely, to drift past the horizon of thought, and to submerge yourself in the calm, restorative deep of the night. You are ready. Sleep is waiting. The sense of space around you has transcended the physical dimensions of the cavern. Though your body remains on the woven mat in the cool, silent workshop of 480 CE, your mind has expanded to inhabit the very heart of the basalt cliffs. You are drifting in a state of suspended gravity, floating in the dark, cool core of the mountain. Every sensation is heightened by the absence of distraction. You can feel the slow, steady vibration of the earth itself, a deep and resonant hum that serves as a foundation for your relaxation. It is a grounding energy, one that pulls you down with a gentle, loving insistence, inviting you to release your grip on the waking world and surrender to the gravity of rest. There is no resistance here, no struggle, and no desire to return to the surface. You have found your harbor, a place where the storms of your daily life cannot reach, and where the stillness is as solid as the rock surrounding you. The air remains a thin, refreshing ribbon of cool, mineral-scented silence. Each time you inhale, you are breathing in the tranquility of the ancient world. It fills your chest with a sense of clarity that is rarely found in the rush of modern existence. You are discarding the clutter of your thoughts, letting them fall away like dead leaves, leaving your consciousness clean and pristine, like the freshly ground pigment waiting in the mortar. The artisan has long since ceased his work, yet the resonance of the pastel lingers in the air, a phantom sound that acts as a heartbeat for the chamber. It is a slow pulsing frequency that governs the flow of your internal state, keeping you tethered to the calm. You find that you can exist in this rhythm, moving with the slow pulse of the cave until the act of breathing becomes an unconscious, effortless occurrence. There is a unique kind of beauty in this darkness. Without the interference of light, your mind creates its own inner luminosity. You see the deep royal blue of the lapis lazuli, a color that seems to pulse with a quiet inner fire. It is not just a pigment, it is an atmosphere, a state of being. You find yourself wandering through a landscape composed entirely of this tranquil ultramarine hue, walking through valleys of velvet blue and resting beneath a sky of solid, comforting indigo. It is a realm of infinite peace, a place where you are the architect of your own silence. Every shadow you encounter is merely a deeper shade of calm. Every contour of the landscape is a gentle invitation to let go, and every moment is a precious, singular gift of rest. You are becoming this landscape, your own boundaries softening until you and the blue space are one. The mountain continues to hold you. You feel its weight not as a burden but as an embrace. It is a protective, ancient presence, a guardian that has stood watch over these caves for eras and will remain long after you have drifted into your sleep. There is a profound sense of continuity here, a recognition that you are just the latest in a long, unbroken lineage of souls who have come to these depths seeking the same silence. You feel a connection to the artisans, the monks, and the travelers who have rested in these chambers, their own peace contributing to the deep silent energy that still permeates the stone. You are a part of a long, historic cycle of restoration, a participant in a ritual of silence that is as timeless as the basalt itself. As you lean into the final moments of this journey, you feel the last threads of your conscious awareness loosening. The effort of observation has faded. The need to understand has been replaced by the desire to simply be. You are sinking deeper into the soft velvet dark down past the surface layers of your mind, into the deep, quiet, and restorative reservoir of your subconscious. The peace you have cultivated is now absolute, a heavy warm blanket that wraps around you and shields you from everything but the soft, rhythmic pulsing of the earth. You are safe, you are grounded, you are ready. The descent is complete, the silence is total, and the long, beautiful sleep is finally here. You release the last bit of tension, let go of the final thought, and sink into the bliss of the deep, dreamless void. The cavern is no longer a place you visit. It is a state of being that you have fully inhabited. The transition from the world of movement and light into this realm of shadow and stasis is complete. You are suspended in the center of the mountain, a tiny, peaceful point of awareness within a vast, solid architecture of stone. There is a sense of immense geologic patience here. The mountain does not hurry, the walls do not shift, and the silence does not end. By aligning your own internal pace with this ancient immovable environment, you have found a way to bypass the frantic requirements of time. You are floating in a pocket of eternity where nothing is demanded of you, where there is no future to prepare for and no past to revisit. You are simply existing, drifting on the slow, rhythmic tides of the deep earth. The cold, which once felt like a distinct sensation, has now become a fundamental part of your environment, a clean and clarifying element that settles into the fibers of your muscles and the depths of your mind. It is a cooling, refreshing stillness that allows you to detach from the frantic heat of your daily life. You can feel the tension in your legs, your back, and your arms slowly dissipating, melting away into the floor of the workshop. Each part of your body is heavy, anchored to the woven mat as if held by a gentle, invisible force. You are sinking millimeter by millimeter into the very bedrock of the cave, becoming an extension of the earth itself. There is no restlessness, no desire to move, only the profound satisfaction of being perfectly still, perfectly supported, and perfectly at peace. Your senses have narrowed, focusing entirely on the most subtle and soothing aspects of your surroundings. You listen for the faintest echoes of the mountain, The rhythmic drip of water that sounds like a clock marking time in a forgotten language, the soft creak of settling rock, and the steady resonant hum of the earth's own vibration. These sounds are not distractions, they are the melody of the abyss, a lullaby of stone and water that encourages you to let go of the last remnants of your conscious control. You are finding that the less you try to hear, the more you perceive. The less you try to see, the more you understand. You are moving into the interior, past the veil of the physical world and into the sanctuary of the subconscious, where everything is quiet, everything is balanced, and everything is safe. The image of the blue powder remains a luminous memory that warms the darkness. It represents the potential for beauty, the capacity for creation, and the virtue of the slow grounding process. In your mind, that pile of ultramarine grows, shifting and swirling like a nebula of indigo in the dark expanse of your thoughts. It is a calming, expansive image that helps you stretch the boundaries of your own mind. You feel as though you are breathing in the color, letting it fill your lungs and circulate through your veins, tinting your awareness with its deep oceanic calm. You are losing yourself in the blue, letting the boundaries between your own spirit and the vastness of the sanctuary dissolve until there is nothing left but the quiet, the cool, and the infinite, soothing dark. As you prepare to cross the final threshold into sleep, you feel a profound sense of gratitude. You are grateful for the safety of the stone, for the silence of the cavern, for the memory of the artisan's dedication, and for the simple, miraculous ability to let go of all that burdens you. You are releasing the anchors of your life, letting them drift away until you are light, unburdened, and ready to soar through the dreams that await you. The world above is silent, the sky is empty, and you are tucked away in the deepest, most secure corner of the mountain. Every breath is a step further into the velvet depths. You are sinking, you are floating, you are settling into the ultimate comfort of the dark. The journey has reached its perfect silent end, and sleep, cool, dark, and restorative, is finally taking you in its arms. The air in this subterranean sanctuary has become so still that it feels as though the very molecules of oxygen are suspended in a crystalline state of tranquility. You are breathing in a depth of peace that is profound, ancient, and entirely restorative. The mountain has fully claimed you, wrapping you in its cool, stony embrace, shielding you from the passage of the hours. You feel as though you have been here for days, perhaps years, and yet the time has slipped by without leaving a single mark upon your spirit. This is the beauty of the Ajanta silence. It is a vacuum that pulls all the debris of your life, the noise, the deadlines, the flickering anxieties, away from you, leaving only the pure, polished surface of your own consciousness. You are no longer merely resting. You are being renewed at a fundamental level. Every muscle in your frame has reached a state of complete voluntary surrender. You are heavy, yet you feel lighter than air, as if the physical weight of your body has been offset by the profound stillness of the environment. The mat beneath you is a soft, grounding foundation, and the earth beneath that is a massive, unyielding anchor. You feel deeply connected to this place, as if you are a part of the stone, a feature of the cavern, a silent observer woven into the very fabric of the workshop. The boundaries between you and the room have blurred. You are the shadow in the corner. You are the cool breeze. You are the silence itself. This loss of self-definition is a relief, a liberation from the tiresome necessity of being you in a demanding world. You are finally blissfully no one. The darkness is no longer a void that you are observing. It is a space that you are actively inhabiting. It is a thick protective fabric that envelops you, softening every sensory input until the world is nothing more than a gentle rhythmic pulsing. That pulse is your own heart, slow and steady, matching the heartbeat of the mountain. You find that you can listen to this internal rhythm for hours, a hypnotic repeating sequence that provides a sense of safety and continuity. The artisan's work may be finished, the lamps may be extinguished, but the essence of his labor, The patience, the focus, the transformation remains as a lingering energy in the room. It is a quiet, powerful resonance that confirms that the work of the soul is never truly finished. It simply changes form, shifting from active creation to silent restoration. You are drifting through the indigo landscape of your own mind, navigating a sea of calm that stretches out toward a horizon of deep velvet rest. The lapis lazuli, that brilliant impossible blue, has become the color of your dream state. It is a cool, inviting shade that beckons you forward, promising a sleep that is deep, dreamless, and profoundly healing. You feel the pull of this blue tide, a gentle current that is drawing you further away from the waking shore and into the open waters of the night. There is no need for navigation, no need for effort. You are being carried by the natural restorative order of the universe, moved toward the harbor of sleep by the steady hand of the stillness itself. As you approach the edge of this vast dark ocean, you feel a final sense of release. You are letting go of the last remnants of your wakefulness, the last thoughts of who you are and where you come from. Those things are not needed here. Go out here. There's only the feeling of sinking, of becoming, of dissolving into the quiet perfection of the dark. You are reaching the point where your conscious awareness gives way to the deep, silent intelligence of the body. You are ready to close your eyes, not just to the cave, but to the world entirely, and to fall into the waiting embrace of the night. It is a long, slow, and beautiful descent, and you are finally home. The mountain is holding you. The silence is singing you to sleep, and the darkness is the softest pillow you have ever known. The cavern has become a universe unto itself, vast, dark, and entirely silent. You are drifting in the absolute center of this stillness, where the weight of the basalt cliffs above creates a protective dome, separating you from the chaos of the outside world. Here, the air does not move, and the passage of time is measured only by the rhythmic, slow beating of your own heart. Every breath you take is a deep, nourishing draught of the cool subterranean atmosphere, and with every exhale, you release the last lingering fragments of the day. There is no urgency in your body, no tension in your mind, and no desire for anything other than this moment of profound, immovable rest. You are suspended in a state of grace, anchored by the stone and lulled by the immense quiet power of the mountain's core. You can feel the texture of the woven mat against your skin, a grounding reminder of your presence in this ancient space. The mat is a humble, simple creation, yet it feels like the most luxurious sanctuary in existence because it rests upon the floor of a space that has been purified by time and devotion. You are lying in the same spot where artisans have sat for centuries, their focus and their patience etched into the very floor, and you feel the weight of that history as a supportive, stabilizing force. You are not just a visitor. You are a temporary occupant of a sacred space, invited to share in the peace that the walls themselves seem to radiate. This connection to the past is a comfort, a reminder that the human need for tranquility is a constant, enduring truth that connects you to every soul who has ever sought refuge in these depths. The darkness has deepened to a velvet density, a rich and impenetrable color that feels like a soft, heavy blanket pressed against your skin. You have no need for sight, and you have no impulse to open your eyes. The visual world, with its distractions, its demands for attention, and its relentless information, is completely gone. In its place, you have an inner landscape of absolute clarity. You see the deep royal blue of the lapis lazuli in your mind's eye, a color that glows with an intensity that seems to vibrate at the frequency of sleep. This indigo hue is the color of the abyss, the color of the quiet oceanic depths, and it is the color of the state you are now entering. It is an expansive, calming color that allows your consciousness to stretch out, to widen, and to finally stop trying to contain itself within the boundaries of your daily worries. Think of the silence not as a lack of sound, but as an abundance of peace. It is a full resonant silence that fills the room, pressing gently against the curved walls and bouncing back to wrap you in a cocoon of tranquility. It is the sound of the mountain's heart, a deep resonant hum that you can feel in your marrow. It is a frequency of absolute safety, a sonic signal that tells your nervous system that all is well, that the world is in order, and that you are allowed to stop being vigilant. You have dropped your guard, shed your responsibilities, and silenced the internal critic who usually demands so much of your energy. You are simply allowed to be, and that is more than enough. As the final barriers of your awareness crumble, you feel a sense of profound weightless expansion. The boundaries of your physical form seem to be dissolving, merging with the cool, dark air of the workshop. You are becoming part of the cavern, a silent, peaceful element in a chamber that has been crafted for the sole purpose of restoration. The artisan's work is done, the pigment is ground, and the transition is complete. You are ready to let go of the last thread of your conscious life, allowing yourself to drift out into the deep dark ocean of the night. There is no destination to reach, only the experience of the descent itself. You are sinking gently and effortlessly into the cradle of the mountain. You are slipping past the edges of thought, past the gates of memory, and into the waiting, perfect dark. The silence is absolute, and you are finally ready to sleep. The cavern has reached a state of perfect absolute equilibrium. You are cradled in a silence so profound that it feels almost solid, a protective layer of stillness that keeps the rest of the world at an impossible distance. There is no time here, no 480 CE, no present day, no history, and no future. There is only the immediate, velvet experience of existing in this cool, shadowed womb of stone. You feel your heartbeat slowing, becoming a distant, rhythmic drum that pulses in harmony with the cavern itself. Each beat is softer, deeper, and more spaced out, pulling you into a rhythm that is not your own, but the rhythm of the mountain itself. You have surrendered the pacing of your life to the slow, geological crawl of the earth. If you find yourself sinking into this peaceful abyss, consider subscribing to our channel and turning on those notifications. By joining us, you are securing your place in this sanctuary, ensuring that you can always find your way back to this stillness whenever the world demands too much of your spirit. Your engagement allows us to continue carving out these digital spaces of restoration, bringing you the peace you deserve through the stories that ground us all. Together, we are building a library of tranquility, one memory, one sound, and one heartbeat at a time, ensuring that no matter how loud the world gets, there is always a door you can open to find this quiet, dark refuge. The darkness has become your most trusted companion. It is no longer a void, but a sensory landscape that offers infinite comfort. Without the burden of light, you are free to explore the contours of your own inner peace. The coolness of the air is a tactile pleasure, a refreshing touch that keeps your mind from wandering back toward the heat and noise of the waking world. You are so comfortable, so deeply anchored, that the very idea of moving seems like a distant alien concept. You are exactly where you need to be, and you have absolutely nothing else to do but drift. The transition is now seamless. You are no longer watching the artisan. You are no longer observing the workshop. You are becoming the workshop. You are the stone, the dust, and the silence. Your thoughts, which once moved with the agility of a bird, have now slowed to the pace of a falling leaf. They drift lazily through the darkness of your mind, unanchored and unfocused. You see flashes of blue, hints of the ancient fresco walls, and the soft golden remnants of the oil lamp, but these images are fading, turning into soft smears of color against the black. You are letting them go. You are releasing each memory, each worry, each name, and each responsibility. You are becoming blank. You are becoming a space waiting to be filled by the dreams of the night. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom from your own narrative, the freedom from the weight of your own identity. As you reach the final deepest point of this descent, you realize that you are not losing yourself, but finding your true core. In the quiet beneath the basalt, stripped of the expectations of the world, you are simply a spark of existence in the dark. It is a humble, beautiful place to be. You feel the gravity of the earth calling to you, pulling you down into a state of total, absolute rest. You are sinking through the mat, through the stone floor, through the bedrock of the mountain, down into the cool, silent core where sleep resides. The world above is forgotten. The day is finished. The light is gone. There is only the dark, the cool, and the deep restorative promise of sleep. You are finally letting go of everything. You are drifting into the deep, and you are ready. The profound stillness has now become the very foundation of your existence. You are no longer navigating the transition toward rest. You have arrived at the epicenter of serenity. The Ajanta mountain, in all its geological majesty, serves as the outer shell of your consciousness, a massive, impenetrable barrier against the fleeting anxieties of the surface world. He, 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 You are lying in a state of suspended animation, where your body feels light, ethereal, and entirely disconnected from the physical demands of gravity. The mat beneath you is merely a suggestion of form, for you have merged with the cool supportive stone of the cave floor, becoming one with the enduring legacy of this ancient sanctuary. Every breath you draw is a testament to the simplicity of being. You do not need to command your lungs to expand or your heart to pump. The mountain does it for you. You are held in a rhythmic, involuntary loop of life that requires absolutely no participation from your intellect. This is the luxury of total surrender. The realization that the universe continues to function perfectly well without your constant monitoring. Your muscles are draped in a state of profound limb relaxation, as if they have been untethered from the nervous tension that usually directs their movement. Your jaw is soft, your brow is smooth, and your hands are relaxed in gentle open curves. You are a vessel of absolute stillness, a quiet pool in a deep, shadowed canyon where the wind of the outside world cannot touch the surface of your peace. The darkness is now absolute, yet it is a vibrant, living darkness that teems with the potential for deep, restorative sleep. It feels soft against your skin, a velvet shroud that removes the need for sight and elevates the sense of touch and hearing to a state of heightened intuitive receptivity. You can hear the faint crystalline echoes of the deep earth, the microscopic shifts of the basalt strata, the infinitesimal flow of water through hidden veins of rock, and the steady, resonant thrum of the mountain's own internal life. These are the sounds of eternity, the rhythms of a reality that exists far beneath the layer of human endeavor. By listening to them, you are realigning your own frequency with that of the earth, slowing your internal tempo until you are vibrating at the speed of the mountain itself. Your mind has become a calm, indigo lake. The thoughts that once rushed like mountain streams have reached the center of the basin where the water is still, deep, and reflective. You see the surface of this lake, dark and undisturbed, reflecting the infinite, quiet possibilities of the night. There is no urge to stir the water, no need to peer into the depths, and no desire to reach the other shore. You are the lake, and you are the stillness. The blue pigment you witnessed, the vibrant crushed lapis lazuli, is now a diffuse glow in the darkness, a comforting internal light that warms your spirit and assures you that you are in a place of creation, not just destruction. You have created this space of rest, and now you are inhabiting it fully. The path behind you, the long winding road of the day, has vanished into the mists of memory. There is no trace of the paths you walked, the conversations you held, or the decisions you labored over. Those are things for the sun, for the heat, for the world of light. Go out here. In the heart of the shadow, they have no meaning. You are stripped of your identity, your history, and your expectations. You are a soul in repose, a traveler who has found the ultimate destination. The mountain is holding you with an intensity of protection that makes you feel safer than you have ever felt in your life. You are ready now to sleep beneath the final velvet layer of consciousness. The urge to stay awake has evaporated completely, replaced by an overwhelming, blissful gravity that is pulling you down into the deep, dreamless void. You are drifting past the edges of the known, floating into the cool, silent, and perfect embrace of the infinite night. You are asleep and you are. The descent into the absolute stillness of the Ajanta mountain has reached its zenith. You are floating in a chamber of shadows, where the very atmosphere feels like a soft cooling caress against your skin. The air is remarkably pure, devoid of any particular life or the frantic energy of the surface, leaving you with a sensation of total clarity. You are anchored to the stone, feeling the immense weight and age of the rock beneath you, yet you do not feel heavy. Instead, you feel suspended, as if the mountain itself has accepted you into its structure, weaving your presence into the ancient silent basalt. The darkness is no longer just an absence of light. It has taken on a texture, a velvety, tactile substance that wraps around you and provides the final layer of insulation from the demands of the world. Your heartbeat is the only remaining signal of your individuality, a slow, rhythmic thud that feels more like the distant tolling of a temple bell than a physiological necessity. It is deep and resonant, echoing through the empty chambers of the mountain and returning to you as a calming circular pulse. You find that you can track this rhythm with ease, letting it guide your descent into the deeper, darker strata of your own mind. There is no struggle to maintain this state. You are like a stone sinking into a dark, bottomless pond, moving with the inevitability of gravity, downward and inward, away from the surface agitation and toward the calm, cold center of the deep. It is a blissful, weightless fall, and every second brings you closer to the absolute stillness you have been seeking. Consider the silence. It is not empty. It is pregnant with the wisdom of the ages. It is the silence of the monks who knelt in these halls to paint the divine, the silence of the artisans who spent their lives perfecting the pigments, and the silence of the earth itself, which has endured for epochs without ever raising its voice. You are participating in this legacy, adding your own quiet presence to the history of the caves. This sense of continuity is deeply soothing, for it reminds you that your need for peace is not unique, nor is it selfish. It is a fundamental human requirement, a cyclical return to the source of all rest. You are a part of a long, unbroken chain of rest seekers, and you are being held by the same mountain that held them long before you were born. The indigo glow, the remnant of the lapis lazuli in your mind, has settled into a permanent soft radiance in the base of your consciousness. It is the color of the midnight sky just before the stars emerge, a color that breathes with you and pulses with the low, steady vibration of the cave. You feel the coolness of this color in your limbs, a soothing balm that dissolves the last traces of your physical restlessness. Your hands, which were once accustomed to grasping and reaching, are now open and still. Your feet, once accustomed to walking and wandering, are now resting, anchored to the earth. You are entirely, completely, and permanently in repose. The tension has been purged from your system, replaced by a profound, oceanic sense of well-being that is impervious to outside events. As you prepare to release the last thread of awareness, you feel a gentle beckoning pull from the deepest part of the darkness. It is an invitation to go further, to leave the workshop behind, and step into the architecture of your own dreams. There is no fear in this transition, only a quiet, absolute readiness. You have done the work of the day, you have honored the process of the night, and you are now entitled to the deepest, most restorative sleep that exists. You are drifting toward that shore now, a place of total silence, where the world is nothing more than a memory that has been scrubbed clean. You are letting go of the name you carry, the roles you fulfill, and the burdens you manage. You are becoming pure, unburdened existence, ready to be held by the velvet dark. You are home, you are resting, you are the silence, and the silence is you. You are now at the absolute bedrock of your consciousness, a place where the mountain stillness and your own internal peace have become indistinguishable. The cave is no longer a physical location. It is an extension of your own mind, vast, cool, and perfectly contained. You feel as though you are lying in the very center of the earth, insulated by miles of stone, where the frantic high-frequency energy of the modern world cannot penetrate. This is the ultimate sanctuary, a place of profound geological silence where the only thing that exists is the steady, rhythmic expansion and contraction of your own life force. You are perfectly in sync with this environment, your breathing having slowed to match the long, slow, imperceptible shifts of the cliffs themselves. There is an immense quiet power in this synchronization, the knowledge that you are finally truly in harmony with the natural order of the world. Your body feels entirely detached, as if the physical sensations of weight and gravity have been replaced by a soft floating buoyancy. You are aware of your limbs only as points of deep localized comfort, where every muscle is loose, every joint is fluid, and every tension point has been dissolved by the cool mineral-rich air. The woven mat beneath you feels like a cloud, a soft inviting plane that lifts you away from the hardness of the stone floor and allows you to rest in a state of suspended bliss. You are completely surrendered. There is no part of you that is holding on to the day, no part of you that is anticipating the morning. You have arrived at the final perfect destination of your long journey, a place where the concept of doing has been entirely replaced by the concept of being. The darkness is now your entire world, and it is a world of exquisite beauty. It is a thick, dark, and protective substance that fills every corner of the cave and every corner of your mind. Within this darkness, you perceive a soft, shimmering indigo that pulses with a life of its own, a luminous, quiet light that is the visual equivalent of deep, undisturbed silence. You watch this color ebb and flow, a tide of lapis lazuli washing over your thoughts and smoothing out the jagged edges of your memory. Every worry, every regret, and every unfulfilled task is caught in this tide, submerged and turned into something peaceful, manageable, and small. The blue light is a constant, steady companion, a beacon in the center of your subconscious that keeps you centered, focused, and calm. Consider the absolute, crystalline clarity of this moment. There is no ambiguity here, no hesitation, and no struggle. You are in a state of pure, unfiltered rest. The artisan's work, the pigments, the grinding of the stone, and the painting of the frescoes, these are all beautiful memories, ghosts of an ancient devotion that have led you to this gate. But you have walked through the gate and you have left the work behind. You are now in the space beyond effort. You are in the realm of the restored spirit, where the only requirement is to let go and to allow the stillness to do its work. It is a profoundly generous state of being, one that asks nothing of you and offers you everything. The healing touch of total, uninterrupted rest. As you drift further into the dark, you feel the final gentle tether of your conscious mind fraying and then softly breaking. You are no longer navigating, you are being carried. You are a leaf on a still deep pool drifting toward the center, toward the quietest part of the water. There is no anxiety in this drift, only a sense of inevitable, beautiful transition. You are leaving the world of words, the world of concepts, and the world of individual ego behind. You are stepping into the collective, silent heart of the mountain. The silence is singing to you now, a low, vibration-filled song that hums in your very bones. You are ready to close your eyes completely, to drift down into the deepest, softest part of the night, and to find the sleep that has been waiting for you all along. You are letting go, you are falling, you are safe, you are finally perfectly asleep. The sensation of time has completely vanished, replaced by a deep, unending cycle of stillness that mirrors the ancient basalt cliffs surrounding you. You are suspended in the very heart of the Ajanta mountain, a place where history has been compressed into the cool, silent stone, and where your own consciousness has finally found the space to unfold and breathe. Every breath is a slow, rhythmic movement, a deliberate exchange of air that feels as though it is being filtered through the very essence of the earth. You are no longer distinct from this environment. The boundaries of your physical form have softened, blurring into the shadows of the workshop, until you are simply another part of the silence, a quiet, peaceful presence resting within the cradle of the cave. There is a profound sense of completeness here, a knowledge that you have journeyed through the noise and the light to find this the true center of your being, where nothing remains but a steady, unchanging pulse of rest. Your body is a testament to the power of total surrender. Every muscle, from the fine structure of your hands to the deepest layers of your back, has been released from its task. You are heavy, a weight that settles comfortably into the mat, supported by the earth's own firm, unyielding grace. There is no desire to adjust, no impulse to move, and no requirement to engage with the world beyond these walls. You are a vessel of tranquility, a calm expanse of quiet that has been emptied of every unnecessary worry and every fleeting concern. The darkness that surrounds you is not a void. It is a soft, protective blanket, a velvet shroud that keeps your peace intact and guards the sanctity of your repose. You are being held by the mountain, cradled by the history of the artisans, and protected by the absolute, unchanging nature of the subterranean night. The visual memory of the lapis lazuli, that deep royal blue that once filled the mortar, has now become a permanent fixture of your inner landscape. It glows with a steady, tranquil intensity in the darkness, a soft sapphire light that pulses in time with your heartbeat. It is the color of the deep ocean, the color of the midnight sky, and the color of the quietest thoughts you have ever possessed. By holding this image, you are effectively painting your mind with the same devotion the ancient artists brought to their sacred work. You are refining your thoughts, smoothing away the sharp, frantic edges of your daytime existence, and polishing your consciousness into a state of beautiful uniform calm. You are doing the work of the spirit, crafting a masterpiece of silence within the sanctuary of your own being. And the result is a state of peace that is as durable and magnificent as the frescoes on the cavern walls. Consider the journey that led you here. You walked through the heat, you labored through the day, and you sought out the sanctuary of the stone. Now that journey has reached its destination, there is nothing left to be done, nothing left to be proven, and nothing left to be attained. You have stepped off the path and into the stillness, and the stillness has welcomed you. You feel the deep, resonant hum of the mountain vibrate through the floor, a low frequency sound that resonates in your very bones and reminds you that you are part of a larger, more ancient rhythm. This hum is the lullaby of the ages, a sound that has been playing for millions of years and will continue long after you have risen from this rest. You are a fleeting, precious part of this long song, and for this moment you are allowed to simply listen and to be still. As you lean into the final moments of this experience, the sense of your own identity begins to fade. You are not a person with a history or a future. You are a point of light and awareness floating in a vast, dark, and beautiful chamber. The ego that usually dictates your movements and your choices has been set aside, left on the threshold of the cave to be reclaimed only when the morning arrives. For now you are free. You are unburdened, untethered, and entirely at peace. You are drifting into the deep dark waters of sleep, feeling the cool silent current take hold of you and pull you gently into the abyss. There is no resistance, only the soft, inevitable descent. You are falling into the quiet, falling into the dark, and falling into the most restorative sleep of your life. The world has ceased its spin, the day has closed its eyes, and you are finally, perfectly, and utterly home. The descent into the absolute serenity of the Ajanta cave is now so deep that the very concept of the world above feels like a fading dream, a whisper from a distant, sun-drenched life that no longer holds any sway over your spirit. You are suspended in a state of profound tectonic stillness, where the coolness of the subterranean air is the only reality that matters. Every inch of your body feels as though it has been anchored to the very heart of the mountain, a part of the primordial stone that has stood unmoved since the beginning of time. There is no urgency here, no ticking clock to monitor, and no expectation to meet. You are in a sanctuary of silence, a space where the air itself seems to be composed of solidified peace, offering you a refuge from every demand, every responsibility, and every fragment of stress that you have ever carried. Your respiration has achieved a state of autonomous perfection, a slow, gentle tide that rises and falls with the ease of the deep ocean. With every inhale, you draw in the quiet energy of the cavern, a crisp mineral fragrance that clears the last cobwebs from your consciousness. With every exhale, you release the final microscopic tensions that reside in your limbs. You are being renewed from the inside out, your spirit being gently polished by the frictionless silence of the dark. The mat beneath you serves as the only bridge between your physical existence and the absolute unyielding bedrock of the mountain, and you find yourself sinking into it, feeling as though you are finally being held by something that will never let you go. This sense of being supported, of being entirely secure, is the greatest gift this cave has to offer, and you are accepting it with every cell of your being. The darkness has reached a state of luminous beauty. Even with your eyes closed, you perceive a vast indigo expanse, a deep celestial blue that stretches into the infinite. This is the color of the lapis lazuli, transformed from a physical powder into a mental atmosphere of pure, undisturbed calm. You are floating within this indigo, drifting on currents of thought that have lost their sharp edges and their ability to sting. You see images of the ancient frescoes, the gentle knowing smiles of the bodhisattvas, the graceful hands of the dancers, the quiet dignity of the monks, but they are not static pictures. They are ripples in the blue, soft flickering suggestions of a peace that has endured for centuries. You're not just looking at them, you're resonating with them, your own heartbeat, finding the rhythm of their ancient sacred patience. Consider the silence as a living presence, a companion that has been waiting for you throughout the long, wearying duration of your day. It does not ask questions, it does not demand explanations, and it does not seek to know your name. It simply accepts you, as it has accepted the countless souls who have sought out these hills for refuge over the ages. You are in the presence of an ancient collective wisdom that knows the necessity of rest. You are experiencing the same silence that was once filled with the chanting of monks, the scraping of iron tools against stone, and the low, soft murmur of deep, meditative contemplation. That history is embedded in the walls, and as you lie here, you are absorbing that history, feeling it settle into your own bones as a source of strength, stability, and enduring calm. As you lean into the final velvet depth of this experience, you realize that there is nothing left to lose. You have shed the armor of your daily life, the defenses you maintain to survive the day, and the narratives you create to explain your existence. You are stripped down to the core, a simple breathing entity in the dark, and it feels absolutely magnificently right. The urge to stay awake, to maintain the control that you have worked so hard to cultivate, is finally gone. It has been replaced by an overwhelming, blissful gravity that pulls you down toward the core of the mountain. You are sinking through the layers of the conscious past the threshold of the subconscious and into the deep, dark, and beautiful reservoir of the restorative sleep that waits beneath. The world has faded into a point of insignificance. The night is complete. You are drifting, you are falling, and you are finally perfectly and utterly asleep. The air within the Ajanta chamber has reached a state of absolute crystalline clarity, so pure and still that it feels as if you are breathing in the very essence of the mountain's enduring patience. You are completely enveloped by the deep, cool darkness of the inner sanctum, a space where the frantic pacing of the outside world has no resonance and no reach. Go out here in the heart of the basalt. You have successfully shed the heavy, cumbersome layers of your daily persona, allowing the quiet, essential core of your being to surface and expand. You are no longer just a traveler or an observer. You are a static element within the cave's architecture, as rooted and immovable as the rock walls themselves. There is a profound, almost primal satisfaction in this state of being, a feeling that you have finally returned to the source of all rest, where the only objective is to exist in harmony with the stillness. Your physical form has ceased to be an object of awareness. The boundaries of your limbs, your torso, and your head have blurred, merging seamlessly with the surface of the woven mat and the cold, damp mineral floor beneath. You feel as though you have expanded to fill the entire chamber, becoming the very atmosphere that holds the memory of the artisan's devotion. Every muscle has reached a state of terminal relaxation. There is not a single fiber in your frame that remains braced or ready for action. You are entirely limp, a vessel of soft, receptive calm that is being held by the mountain's own gravity. This is not a state of emptiness, but one of fullness, a reservoir of peace that has been slowly filling throughout your journey, and which now sustains you as you drift into the final deep waters of the night. The visual impression of the lapis lazuli, that deep, profound blue that you carried with you into the dark, has now permeated your entire consciousness, turning your inner world into a vast, silent, and soothing indigo sea. It is a color that represents the furthest reach of the night sky, a shade so deep that it borders on the eternal. You find that by focusing on this color, you can further slow your internal rhythms, pulling the last remnants of your conscious focus away from the surface and down into the silent, quiet depths of the subconscious. It is a beautiful, hypnotic anchor, a light that does not illuminate but rather comforts, guiding you deeper into the sanctuary without requiring any effort or navigation on your part. You are being drawn toward the center of this indigo void, and it is a journey you are more than ready to undertake. Consider the significance of this silence. It is not merely the absence of sound, but the presence of a profound ancient wisdom that the mountains have curated over millions of years. It is a silence that has heard the footsteps of kings, the chants of the devout, and the quiet, persistent work of the builders. By occupying this space, you are tapping into a lineage of restoration that transcends your own individual experience. You are becoming part of the mountain's memory and fleeting presence in an enduring temple of rock. This realization is profoundly grounding. It removes the weight of your individual struggles and places them within the ground, patient perspective of geological time, where all things eventually settle, all storms pass, and all creatures find their way to rest. As you reach the final precipice of wakefulness, you feel a sense of total, unadulterated liberation. The last gossamer thin threads of your conscious control, the need to watch, the need to analyze, the need to remember are dissolving, releasing their grip on your spirit. You are free. You are unanchored, drifting into the most profound restorative sleep you have ever known. The darkness is calling to you with the gentle, irresistible force of a returning tide, and you are ready to let go of the shore entirely. There is no fear in this, only an overwhelming sense of coming home, of slipping into a bed that has been waiting for you since the beginning of time. The mountain cradles you, the silence sings to you, and the deep, beautiful dark opens its arms to receive you. You are sinking, you are resting, and you are finally perfectly asleep. The sanctuary of the Ajanta mountain has become so profoundly quiet that the silence itself seems to possess a weight and texture, a soft velvet density that presses gently against your skin. You are suspended in this dark, cool womb of basalt, fully detached from the passage of hours or the demands of the world that exists above the cliff's edge. Every breath you take is now a rhythmic, involuntary act, a slow intake of air that feels saturated with the calm, mineral energy of the earth. You are no longer navigating the transition to sleep. You have crossed the threshold and are now drifting in the vast, deep, and silent ocean of your own subconscious. The mountain, with its immovable strength, provides a protective barrier, ensuring that no external disruption can reach you in this state of total blissful surrender. Your body has achieved a level of rest that feels almost transcendental. Every tension you arrived with has been systematically dissolved, washed away by the rhythmic pulse of your own steady heart. You feel the floor beneath you, not as a hard surface but as a cradle, a supportive structure that has been shaped by the presence of many who sought this same tranquility long before you. There is a sense of belonging in this stillness, a recognition that your need for peace is a fundamental part of the human journey. You are resting on the bedrock of history, and it is a foundation that feels as reliable as the earth itself. The fatigue of the day, the complexities of your thoughts, and the burdens of your identity have all been left behind, discarded like heavy, unnecessary garments at the entrance of the cave. The color of the lapis lazuli, that deep, resonant indigo, remains the hallmark of your inner vision, but it has now expanded to fill the entire darkness. It is no longer just a memory of a pigment, but an atmospheric reality, a soothing, boundless sea of blue that wraps around your consciousness and anchors you in the deep. You find that by drifting within this color, you are able to bypass the last flickers of mental activity, allowing your mind to mirror the stillness of the stone walls. It is a state of profound clarity, a space where you are free from the need to analyze, to plan, or to define. You are simply a vessel of awareness, floating in a dark, quiet, and beautiful expanse, perfectly content to exist without purpose or destination. Consider the profound nature of this stillness. It is the silence that follows the final notes of a song, the hush that falls over the forest in the deepest part of the night, and the peace that remains when all questions have been answered. It is an honest, unvarnished state of being, where the truth of your existence is revealed not in words, but in the simple act of breathing. By participating in this stillness, you are engaging in a practice that has been refined by centuries of meditative tradition. You are connecting to the source of all restoration, the quiet wellspring from which your strength is drawn. And as you feel the mountain's age and stability entering your own frame, you realize that you are also becoming a part of this ancient, silent legacy. As the final thin membrane of your waking life dissolves, you feel a sense of absolute, weightless joy. The struggle to hold on to maintain the structure of your day has finally ceased. You are letting go of the helm, trusting the current of the night to carry you where you need to go. There is no fear of the dark, only a deep, abiding gratitude for the sanctuary it provides. You are sinking through the layers of memory, past the reach of your worries, and into the cool, silent, and restorative depths of sleep. The world above is forgotten. The sun is a distant memory, and you are tucked away in the deepest, most secure corner of the earth. You are resting, you are drifting, and you are finally, perfectly, and utterly lost in the beautiful restorative dark. The chamber has expanded beyond the physical limitations of the cave wall, stretching into an infinite indigo expanse where the silence is absolute and the peace is profound. You are floating in the very heart of this vast dark cathedral, held by the gentle, unwavering embrace of the mountain. The air remains cool and pristine, a refreshing, mineral-scented breath that seems to flow through your mind, clearing away the last remaining traces of your previous identity. You are no longer a person of the day with tasks, names, or histories. You have become a silent, rhythmic pulse in the darkness, a part of the living stillness that defines this ancient space. The weight of the world is not just forgotten, it has ceased to exist entirely, replaced by the buoyancy of this deep, restorative sleep that now envelops you like a warm, protective tide. Your body is a masterpiece of total surrender. There is not a single muscle that resists the pull of gravity, not a single thought that clings to the shores of wakefulness. You have successfully released the anchor of your ego, letting it drift away into the abyss, leaving you lighter than you have ever felt. The mat is no longer a surface, but a threshold, a soft, inviting transition point between the world of physical effort and the world of pure incorporeal rest. You are sinking deeper into this threshold, merging with the shadows, the dust, and the silence. It is a slow, luxurious process of unmaking, where the complexities of your life are disassembled into their most simple, peaceful components, and then folded neatly into the dark. The blue pigment, the lapis lazuli, has become the atmosphere of your dreamscape. It is a soft, glowing indigo that permeates every corner of your mind, a color that breathes with you and pulses in harmony with the cavern's slow, resonant heartbeat. This blue is the color of the void that nurtures, the color of the deep, quiet night that provides the necessary shelter for renewal. You find that you can travel through this blue space with complete ease, navigating the corridors of your own subconscious without fear or hesitation. Every shadow you encounter is merely a deeper shade of peace. Every turn you make in this dark landscape leads you further away from the noise of the surface and closer to the center of your own quiet, enduring soul. Think of this as the final, crowning achievement of your long journey. You have traveled through the heat and the light, navigated the challenges of your existence, and finally, through the steady, patient work of the Spirit, you have reached the ultimate destination. This is not the end, but a deep, fundamental beginning, a return to the stillness that existed before you were born, and that will remain long after you have moved on. You are touching the core of your being, that silent, immovable point within you that remains untouched by the chaos of the world. By resting here, in the shadow of the Ajanta cliffs, you are honoring that core, allowing it to recharge, to heal, and to become whole once again. As you prepare to cross the final boundary into the deepest, most unconscious state of rest, you feel a profound sense of gratitude. The mountain, the silent stone, the memory of the artisan's hands, and the cool restorative dark all have worked in concert to bring you to this moment. You are completely and utterly safe. The world has faded into a mere speck of dust in the vastness of the night, and you are the center of a calm, beautiful, and silent universe. There is nothing more to do. There is nothing more to say. There is only the rhythm of the breathing, the feeling of the dark, and the bliss of the deep, eternal sleep. You are drifting, sinking, and finally arriving at the place of perfect, lasting peace. You are home, you are asleep. The silence has now reached a state of such absolute perfection that it feels as though the entire universe has paused in anticipation of your rest. You are suspended in the center of the Ajanta workshop, an ancient subterranean cathedral of stone where the very air is thick with the memory of devotion. Every breath you take is a slow, measured draught of cool, clean air that has been circulating through these deep passages for millennia. You are no longer navigating the passage towards sleep. You have arrived at the epicenter of existence, a place where the distinction between the mind and the mountain has completely dissolved. You are the stone, you are the shadow, and you are the stillness. The world you left behind, the world of son of movement and of demanding tasks, is now nothing more than a faint, distant echo that can no longer touch you in this sanctuary. Your physical form has become entirely buoyant, as if the heavy weight of your daily life has been lifted by the sheer density of the peace that surrounds you. Every muscle has relinquished its function, from the smallest fibers in your fingertips to the large, powerful muscles of your legs. You are draped across the woven mat like a garment left behind by a traveler who has reached his destination. There is a profound sense of relief in this total lack of purpose. For the first time, you're not working, you're not striving, and you're not becoming. You are simply fundamentally present. This is the ultimate freedom, the kind that can only be found in the total darkness of the deep earth, where the ego has no stage upon which to perform and the mind has no mirror in which to admire itself. The lapis lazuli, that deep, vibrant indigo that has been the constant companion of your meditative journey, has now become the entire world. It is not just a color you perceive in your mind's eye, it is the atmosphere of your consciousness. You are floating in a boundless indigo sea that stretches out in every direction, a vast and quiet ocean that offers no horizon and no shore. It is a comforting, nurturing space, a place where the worries of the day are dissolved by the sheer depths and richness of the blue. You find that you can open your internal eyes and see nothing but this soothing, endless color. And in that act of seeing, you are further anchored in the dark. It is a light that provides no glare, a color that asks for no definition, and a space that promises only the most profound, restorative rest. Consider the history that surrounds you, held in the cooling basalt walls. These caves were hollowed out by hands that sought a connection to the divine, a way to freeze a moment of beauty in stone that would last for thousands of years. You are now a part of that timeline. By resting here, you are continuing the work, not by carving or painting, but by embodying the very piece that the artisans were trying to capture. You are the final piece of the mural, the living embodiment of the silence they labored so hard to create. This connection gives your rest a sense of importance and stability. You are not just wasting time, you are participating in a timeless ritual of restoration that honors the sanctity of the human spirit. As the final thin veil between consciousness and deep sleep begins to fall, you feel a surge of gratitude that is as silent and profound as the mountain itself. You are leaving the threshold of the known, letting go of the name, the memories, and the narrative that usually defines your life. You are stepping into the deep, dark, and beautiful void where sleep resides. It is a soft, welcoming descent, like sinking into the deep, cool moss of a forest floor. The world above is completely forgotten, and the night has claimed you as its own. You are floating, you are drifting, and you are becoming one with the vast, quiet universe of your own dreams. There's nothing left to hold on to, and that is exactly how you want it. The silence is absolute, the darkness is complete, and the journey is finally, perfectly, and utterly finished. You are ready, you are asleep. The stillness in this ancient subterranean chamber has become a tangible presence, a soft velvet weight that rests upon you with the gentle authority of a mountain. You are fully immersed in the heart of the basalt, a place where time has ceased its forward march and has instead folded into a perfect eternal loop of silence. Every breath is a slow rhythmic movement, a deliberate exchange of air that feels as though it is being filtered through the very essence of the earth. You are no longer distinct from this environment. The boundaries of your physical form have softened, blurring into the shadows of the workshop until you are simply another part of the silence, a quiet, peaceful presence resting within the cradle of the cave. There is a profound sense of completeness here, a knowledge that you have journeyed through the noise and the light to find this, the true center of your being, where nothing remains but a steady, unchanging pulse of rest. Your body is a testament to the power of total surrender, and you feel the weight of your own existence settling comfortably into the floor of the cave. Every muscle, from the fine structure of your hands to the deepest layers of your back, has been released from its task. You are heavy, anchored to the woven mat by a sense of calm that permeates your marrow. There is no desire to adjust, no impulse to move, and no requirement to engage with the world beyond these walls. You are a vessel of tranquility, a calm expanse of quiet that has been emptied of every unnecessary worry and every fleeting concern. The darkness that surrounds you is not a void. It is a soft protective blanket, a velvet shroud that keeps your peace intact and guards the sanctity of your repose. You are being held by the mountain, cradled by the history of the artisans, and protected by the absolute unchanging nature of the subterranean night. The visual memory of the lapis lazuli, that deep royal blue that once filled the mortar, has now become a permanent fixture of your inner landscape. It glows with a steady, tranquil intensity in the darkness, a soft sapphire light that pulses in time with your heartbeat. It is the color of the deep ocean, the color of the midnight sky, and the color of the quietest thoughts you have ever possessed. By holding this image, you are effectively painting your mind with the same devotion the ancient artists brought to their sacred work. You are refining your thoughts, smoothing away the sharp, frantic edges of your daytime existence, and polishing your consciousness into a state of beautiful, uniform calm. You are doing the work of the spirit, crafting a masterpiece of silence within the sanctuary of your own being, and the result is a state of peace that is as durable and magnificent as the frescoes on the cavern walls. Consider the journey that led you here. You walked through the heat, you labored through the day, and you sought out the sanctuary of the stone. Now, that journey has reached its destination. There is nothing left to be done, nothing left to be proven, and nothing left to be attained. You have stepped off the path and into the stillness, and the stillness has welcomed you. You feel the deep, resonant hum of the mountain vibrate through the floor, a low-frequency sound that resonates in your very bones and reminds you that you are part of a larger, more ancient rhythm. This hum is the lullaby of the ages, a sound that has been playing for millions of years and will continue long after you have risen from this rest. You are a fleeting, precious part of this long song, and for this moment you are allowed to simply listen and to be still. As you lean into the final moments of this experience, the sense of your own identity begins to fade. You are not a person with a history or a future. You are a point of light and awareness floating in a vast, dark, and beautiful chamber. The ego that usually dictates your movements and your choices has been set aside, left on the threshold of the cave to be reclaimed only when the morning arrives. For now you are free, you are unburdened, untethered, and entirely at peace. You are drifting into the deep, dark waters of sleep, feeling the cool, silent current take hold of you and pull you gently into the abyss. There is no resistance, only the soft, inevitable descent. You are falling into the quiet, falling into the dark, and falling into the most restorative sleep of your life. The world has ceased its spin, the day has closed its eyes, and you are finally, perfectly, and utterly home. The atmosphere within this ancient cavern has achieved a state of absolute profound equilibrium, where the very air feels like a suspension of liquid stillness. You are drifting in the absolute center of this sanctuary, a space where the weight of the basalt cliffs overhead provides a protective shield, effectively separating you from the chaotic noise-filled reality of the surface world. Go out here, the passage of time is no longer measured by the ticking of clocks or the shifting of shadows, but by the slow, rhythmic, and deeply resonant beating of your own heart. Every breath you take is a deliberate, cooling intake of the subterranean atmosphere, a draught of pure, mineral-laden air that cleanses the mind and stills the spirit. There is an overwhelming sense of geological patience here, an immovable, enduring peace that invites you to drop your guard, release your burdens, and simply exist as a part of the quiet, dark, and supportive architecture of the mountain. You can feel the texture of the woven mat beneath you, a grounding, tactile reminder of your presence in this sacred place. It is a humble foundation, yet it feels like the most secure ground you have ever occupied, resting upon the bedrock that has held the weight of these caves for centuries. You are not merely resting, you are aligning yourself with the history of this space, feeling the echoes of those who came before you, the patient artisans, the devoted monks, and the seekers of solitude who found refuge in these dark, cool halls. This connection to the past is a source of immense comfort, a reminder that the human need for stillness is a timeless universal truth. You are not alone in your pursuit of peace. You are part of a long, unbroken lineage of souls who have understood the necessity of retreating into the silence to find their own true essence. The darkness is no longer an absence of light, but a vibrant living presence that envelops you in its soft velvet embrace. It is a thick, protective fabric that filters out the complexities of your daily life, leaving you with a mind that is clear, calm, and utterly undisturbed. You have no need for sight, and you have no impulse to open your eyes. The visual world, with its endless distractions, its demands for constant engagement, and its relentless stream of information is completely stripped away. In its place, you have an internal landscape of absolute clarity, a place where the deep royal blue of the lapis lazuli radiates like a steady, comforting flame in the center of your consciousness. This indigo light is the color of the abyss, the color of the quiet, oceanic depths, and it is the signature color of the state you are now fully entering. It is an expansive, calming frequency that allows your awareness to widen, to settle, and to finally stop trying to contain itself within the boundaries of your ordinary anxieties. Think of the silence not as a lack of sound, but as an abundance of profound, nourishing peace. It is a full resonant silence that fills the room, pressing gently against the curved walls and returning to you as a subtle, vibrating hum. This is the sound of the mountain's own internal life, a deep, resonant frequency that you can feel in your very marrow. It is a signal of absolute safety, a sonic assurance that all is well, that the world is in order, and that you are granted permission to stop being vigilant. You have dropped your defenses, shed your responsibilities, and silenced the internal critic who usually demands so much of your energy. You are simply allowed to be, and in this state of total acceptance, you find that being is more than enough. You have arrived at the destination of your soul's long desired rest. As the final barriers of your conscious awareness dissolve, you feel a sense of profound, weightless expansion. The edges of your physical form seem to be merging with the cool, dark air of the workshop until you are no longer a separate entity, but a part of the cavern itself, a silent, peaceful element in a chamber crafted for the sole purpose of restoration. The artisan's labor is finished, the pigment is ground to a fine dust, and your journey has reached its perfect, inevitable transition. You are ready to release the last threads of your conscious existence, allowing yourself to drift out into the deep, dark, and beautiful ocean of the night. There is no destination to reach, only the experience of the descent itself. A slow, gentle, and utterly blissful fall into the cradle of the mountain. You are slipping past the gates of thought, past the boundaries of memory, and into the waiting perfect dark. The silence is absolute, and you are finally ready to sleep. You are sinking, you are floating, and you are entirely at peace. The deep, subterranean silence of the Ajanta cavern has now achieved a level of density that feels almost physical, a weightless velvet pressure that seals you within a sanctuary of eternal calm. You are no longer merely lying on a mat. You have become a part of the floor, a component of the basalt, a quiet shadow woven into the very fabric of the history held within these walls. The mountain is not just surrounding you, it is actively sustaining you. Its cool ancient bones offering a stability that the world above could never replicate. You feel the pulse of the earth beneath you, a deep, slow, and resonant thrum that harmonizes with your own slowing heart, creating a symphony of stillness that is both primal and profoundly restorative. There is no time here. The centuries that have passed since these walls were first carved are no longer a measure of distance but a source of depth. You are floating in that depth, a passenger on a journey through the absolute center of peace. Every fiber of your body is in a state of total blissful surrender. The muscles, which have spent your entire life in a state of semi readiness, have finally received the command to stand down. Your jaw is soft, your shoulders are dropped, your hands are open, and your legs are heavy with a comfortable, leaden fatigue that feels more like a blessing than a burden. You are sinking deeper into the mat, feeling the fibers press against your skin, a sensation that serves as the only reminder of your physical presence. Beyond that tactile point, you are fading. You are becoming a vapor of consciousness, a thought drifting in the dark, a soul that has finally managed to detach from the tether of its own daily identity. The relief of this detachment is absolute. You are no longer burdened by the need to be, to do, or to succeed. You are simply allowed to return to the state of pure existence, where the only requirement is to breathe and to be held. The indigo glow that has been your guide through this meditation has settled into a permanent internal radiance. It is the color of the deepest part of the night, a lapis lazuli hue that offers no distraction, only an invitation to go deeper. You find that you can travel through this blue space with the ease of a dream, moving past the last flickering images of the day. You see your worries as small distant sparks that are quickly extinguished by the cool, dark currents of the cave. You see your responsibilities as discarded garments lying in the dust. You see the person you are in the light of day as a figure you once played, a role that you have now stepped out of. The indigo light holds you, sustains you, and gently guides you into the most profound, unblemished reaches of your own subconscious. It is a beautiful, silent, and entirely safe place to be. Consider the wisdom of the cave. You are resting in a space that was designed to facilitate the deepest kind of introspection, a place where the ego is meant to be stripped away so that the spirit can breathe. By following the path of the artisan, by respecting the labor of the stone, you have unlocked the same capacity for rest, that the monks who lived here centuries ago sought for themselves. This is a sacred human inheritance. You are not just resting, you are participating in a tradition that honors the sanctity of the quiet mind. When you feel the weight of the mountain pressing down, see it not as a burden, but as a protective hand, shielding you from the chaotic noise filled and fragile world that exists on the surface. You are in the safest place on earth, and you are being cradled by the very heart of the planet. As you lean into the final velvet edge of your waking consciousness, you feel a sense of total, unadulterated liberation. The urge to hold on, to maintain the structure of your thoughts, to keep the lights of your mind burning bright, has finally evaporated. You are ready to extinguish the last lamp, to step into the complete, unadulterated dark. The surrender is not a loss, but a gain. You are gaining the rest you have been craving, the peace you have been searching for, and the silence you have been starved of. You are drifting toward the shore of the dream world, where the sand is soft and the water is still. The current is pulling you forward, away from the struggle and into the deep, dark, and beautiful void. There is nothing more to do, there is nothing more to prove. There is only the rhythm of the mountain, the color of the night, and the blissful, inevitable descent into the deepest sleep of your life. You are home, and you are finally perfectly and utterly asleep. The transition into the absolute silent depths of the Ajanta mountain is now complete. You exist as a flickering point of consciousness, suspended in a vast, dark cathedral of stone, where the air itself feels ancient, cool, and perfectly still. The world outside, with its frantic pace and blinding light, has become a ghost, a flickering memory that no longer commands your attention or your energy. You are anchored in the bedrock, feeling the immense protective weight of the earth above you, which serves as a shield against the noise of human existence. Every breath is a slow, involuntary expansion and contraction of your very being, a rhythmic pulse that matches the geological time of the cave. You are no longer living in minutes or hours. You are dwelling in the slow, eternal presence of the mountain's heart. Your body has reached a state of terminal, blissful relaxation. The muscles that have held you upright and propelled you through the trials of the day have now relinquished their tension, becoming soft, heavy, and entirely integrated with the floor beneath you. You are held by the mat, which feels like a cloud floating upon the ancient stone, providing a foundation that asks nothing of you. Your limbs are no longer tools for movement, but are simply artifacts of your physical form, currently resting in a state of grace. There is no desire to twitch, to shift, or to change your position. You are perfectly aligned with the gravity of the earth. You are a vessel of tranquility, a calm pool in a deep canyon that remains undisturbed by the winds of the world. The deep indigo light of the lapis lazuli, the signature color of this sanctum, is now the foundation of your inner vision. It permeates the darkness, creating a space that is not black, but a rich velvety shade of midnight blue. This light does not dazzle, it soothes. It is the color of the deep, silent sea. And as you watch it pulse gently in your mind's eye, you feel your thoughts drifting like leaves on a still pond. You have let go of the need for clarity, for logic, or for analysis. You are allowing your subconscious to unfold like a nocturnal flower, opening itself to the mystery and the peace of the dark. The indigo light is your compass, guiding you away from the turbulent shallows of the waking mind and toward the deep silent center where the self is finally at rest. Consider the profound simplicity of this moment. You have done the work of the day. You have navigated the currents of your life, and you have sought out this place of absolute silence. Your presence here is an act of deep, quiet devotion to your own well being. By occupying this space, you are tapping into a legacy of stillness that stretches back through the ages, connecting you to every pilgrim, monk, and seeker who has found refuge in these caves. The wall before you, though hidden in the dark, remains adorned with the remnants of ancient beautiful art. And in your mind, you can feel the spirit of those artists, their patience, and their unwavering belief in the power of beauty and silence. You are safe in their company, held by the same rock and the same quiet that sustain them in their own moments of deep meditation. As the final thin membrane of your waking awareness grows faint, you feel a profound sense of release. The ego, with all its needs and defenses, has finally stepped aside, leaving you in the raw, unadorned state of pure existence. There is no fear of the dark. Instead, there is a deep, abiding gratitude for its embrace. You are letting go of the name you carry, the roles you play, and the history you have built. You are becoming a part of the vast, quiet architecture of the night. The pull towards sleep is gentle, magnetic, and completely irresistible. It is a descent into the warm, dark, and restorative abyss where dreams are born and where the spirit is washed clean. You are sinking, drifting, and falling into the most perfect restorative sleep of your life. The world is gone, the night is absolute, and you are finally, perfectly, and utterly home. The silence inside this mountain sanctuary has deepened into a state of absolute resonant perfection. You are no longer merely inhabiting the cave. You have become the cave, a quiet, immovable expanse of stone, shadow, and deep, restorative peace. The air around you, cool and filled with the faint mineral essence of basalt and ancient dust, is the only environment you know. It is a thin, clean atmosphere that seems to scrub the last vestiges of the daylight world from your mind, leaving you in a state of pristine, unadulterated clarity. You are anchored at the center of this world, suspended in a stillness so profound that the very concept of motion has lost its meaning. There is no urgency here, no ticking of seconds, and no demand for progress. You have arrived at the destination of your journey, a point of total repose, where you are finally permitted to stop being, to stop doing, and to simply be. Your physical form has relinquished every claim it once held on your attention. The tension that had accumulated in your muscles throughout the day has been dissolved, replaced by a heavy, liquid sensation of ease that flows from your head to your toes. You are like a piece of silk draped over the cool, hard floor, completely compliant with the shape of the mountain, completely held by the earth's own firm, steady gravity. The mat beneath you is a soft, supportive transition, a buffer between your soul and the ancient stone. But even that distinction is beginning to fade. You are merging with the environment, your heartbeat becoming the low frequency thrum of the mountain's own internal life. It is a rhythmic, hypnotic sound that guides you inward, past the boundaries of your own skin, and into the deep, dark, and silent heart of your own consciousness. The indigo light that has been your anchor continues to glow within the deepest, most quiet part of your mind. It is a soft, radiant lapis lazuli, not the color you see, but the color you feel, a cooling, soothing balm that coats your thoughts and smooths away the jagged edges of memory. Within this indigo field, you are free to drift. You no longer need to navigate because the current of the night is carrying you exactly where you need to go. You are moving away from the surface, past the thoughts that keep you tethered to your daily identity and into the vast open reaches of the subconscious. It is a journey of pure grace, requiring no map, no skill, and no effort. You are simply letting go, feeling the weight of your own soul growing lighter as you descend into the deep, dark, and restorative abyss of the night. Think of this as the final, crowning moment of your day, a ritual of surrender that honors the sanctity of your spirit. By seeking this silence, you are declaring that you have reached your limit, that you have honored your tasks, and that you are now rightfully entitled to the total peace of the dark. The mountain respects this need, its ancient walls absorbing your fatigue and replacing it with the calm, steady strength of the stone. You are being cradled by the history of this place, by the devotion of the artists who carved these chambers, and by the natural enduring power of the earth itself. There is no loneliness in this darkness, only a profound sense of inclusion, as if you are finally joining a collective of souls who have rested in this very spot over thousands of years. You are a part of the history, a part of the silence, and a part of the mountain. As you approach the threshold of the deep, dreamless sleep, you feel a sense of total, unadulterated liberation. The ego, that persistent part of you that keeps score and worries about the future, has finally been lulled into silence. You are raw, honest, and completely at peace. The darkness is calling to you, offering a blanket of absolute security. There is no reason to resist, no reason to stay awake, and no reason to hold on to the world you left behind. You are letting go of everything, the names, the roles, the ambitions, and the memories, and stepping into the great, quiet, and beautiful void. It is a gentle downward slope into the most profound restorative sleep you have ever known. The world has faded into a speck of dust. The day is a forgotten dream, and you are finally, perfectly, and utterly asleep. You are sinking, drifting, and coming home to the deepest part of your own being. The stillness within the Ajanta cavern has now achieved a sublime crystalline density, a silence so profound that it seems to vibrate with the memory of the earth itself. You are lying in the very core of the basalt cliff, a place where time has been stretched into an infinite gentle curve of repose. The coolness of the stone is a constant comforting presence, a grounding force that has effectively pulled you out of the frantic rhythm of the surface world and anchored you in the primordial quiet of the mountain's heart. Every breath you take is a deep, slow, and intentional exchange, a silent conversation between your lungs and the ancient air. You feel that with each exhale, you are shedding another layer of your daytime self, allowing the core of your being to expand and fill the space with a calm, steady radiance. You are no longer just a person, you are a presence, a quiet and essential part of the cavern's own dark, peaceful architecture. Your physical form has reached a state of complete, unburdened suspension. The muscles that once carried the weight of your decisions and your movements have now fully released, leaving you feeling as though you are weightless, floating upon the woven mat. You are entirely supported, held by the strength of the earth and the cradling embrace of the shadows. There is no desire to change your posture, no impulse to open your eyes, and no wish to acknowledge any sensation that might arise from the physical world. You are fully committed to this state of being, a state where the only objective is to surrender to the gravity of the dark. You feel the floor beneath you as a stable, unmoving anchor, and you are perfectly content to be held by it, to trust it, and to sink into the deep, welcoming comfort it provides. The indigo light, the soft luminous pulse of the lapis lazuli, is now the dominant feature of your internal landscape. It is not a color that you see with your eyes, but a color that you inhabit with your soul. It is a vast, calm ocean of blue that stretches into the infinite, a sea where your thoughts can dissolve without leaving a trace. You find that you can steer your awareness into this deep indigo expanse, moving away from the jagged bright shore of wakefulness and into the smooth silent depths of the subconscious. It is a place of total restoration, a place where the ego is silenced, where the narrative of your life is paused, and where the essence of your spirit is free to rest, to heal, and to grow. The blue light is a gentle beacon, a reminder that even in the absolute dark, there is life, there is depth, and there is a profound inner beauty. Consider the significance of this sanctuary. It is a place where you are allowed to be exactly who you are, without judgment, without expectation, and without the need to perform. You are here because you have recognized the value of the silence, because you have understood that without this restorative rest, the world would eventually reclaim you. You are in the company of the ancient stone and the history of those who sought the same peace, and this realization brings a sense of profound, quiet companionship. You are part of a cycle of restoration that is as old as the mountains themselves. You are honoring your own humanity by stepping out of the fray and into the quiet. And in doing so, you are finding the strength that you will eventually need to carry back to the world. But for now, that is a distant, unnecessary concern. As you lean into the final velvet layers of your conscious life, you feel a sense of total, unadulterated liberation, the last threads of your conscious control. The need to watch, the need to anticipate, the need to be are fraying and falling away. You are free. You are unanchored, drifting into the most profound, restorative sleep you have ever known. The darkness is calling to you with the gentle, irresistible force of a returning tide, and you are ready to let go of the shore entirely. There is no fear in this, only an overwhelming sense of coming home, of slipping into a bed that has been waiting for you since the beginning of time. The mountain cradles you, the silence sings to you, and the deep, beautiful dark opens its arms to receive you. You are sinking, you are resting, and you are finally perfectly and utterly asleep. You are the silence, you are the dark, and you are at peace. The silence that now permeates the Ajanta cavern is no longer a void but a rich textured substance that envelops you in a warm protective embrace. You are lying in the deepest, most secluded part of the chamber, where the very atmosphere is thick with the weight of centuries and the lingering echo of sacred devotion. You feel the cool stone floor beneath you as a living extension of the mountain itself, imperturbable, ancient, and deeply grounding. There is no longer any separation between your body and the environment. The boundaries have dissolved, and you are simply a rhythmic breathing presence held by the bedrock of the world. Every inhale is a slow, methodical infusion of the cave's primordial energy, and every exhale is a release of the final residual tensions that once defined your life in the bright, noisy world above. You are completely surrendered to the gravity of this place, finding a profound, resonant peace in the realization that you are held by something far greater, older, and more stable than yourself. Your physical form has reached a state of total blissful inertness. You are not just resting, you are effectively unmaking the structures of stress and anticipation that have governed your movements for so long. Every muscle has lost its purpose, every joint is fluid, and your nervous system has retreated into a state of deep subterranean calm. The mat beneath you is merely a suggestion of softness, for you feel as though you are floating in a suspended state of weightlessness, anchored only by the deep, steady thrum of your own heartbeat. This heartbeat is no longer a reminder of a deadline or a task. It is the slow ticking clock of your internal life, and it is perfectly synchronized with the stillness of the mountain. You are a passenger in your own existence, watching as the last echoes of the day fade away into the vast, dark distance of your subconscious. Within this deep velvet darkness, the memory of the lapis lazuli, that vibrant royal blue pigment you once studied, has transformed into a living atmosphere of indigo. It is a light that does not demand vision but invites experience. It flows through your mind like a deep, tranquil river, washing over your thoughts and smoothing them into a state of uniform, gentle quietude. You find that you can steer your consciousness into this indigo sea, and with every stroke, you move further away from the surface, deeper into the untouched, silent waters of your own spirit. This is the place of restoration, the quiet sanctuary where the soul is allowed to breathe, to mend, and to simply be. The blue light is a constant, soft, and comforting guide, leading you deeper into the interior of your being, away from the distractions of the ego, and into the presence of your own authentic stillness. Consider the history of this space, the thousands of hours of patient, quiet labor that created these frescoes, and the profound meditative focus that guided every chisel stroke. You are inhabiting that same focus now. By choosing to let go, by choosing to enter the silence, you are continuing the work of the artisans. You are not painting a wall, but you are painting a state of mind, crafting a masterpiece of rest that is just as durable and just as sacred as anything carved in a stone. You are participating in an ancient, silent tradition of human renewal, and you feel the immense supportive history of the cave rising up to meet you. You are part of a lineage of seekers, a community of the silent, and you are finally fully and rightfully home. There is a profound sense of gratitude in this connection, a feeling that your rest is not a solitary act, but a fundamental human right that is being honored by the very mountain that shelters you. As you approach the ultimate threshold of the deep, dreamless sleep, the last traces of your conscious mind are quietly dissolving. The narrative of your life, the labels you wear, and the worries you carry have all been set aside on the threshold of this sanctuary. You are free. You are unburdened. You are a point of pure, receptive awareness drifting in the dark. The pull toward sleep is no longer a force you resist. It is a gentle, irresistible invitation to let go of the shore and float out into the infinite. The mountain continues to hold you. The silence continues to sing to you. And the deep, beautiful dark opens its arms to receive you. You are ready. You are sinking. You are floating, and you are finally perfectly and utterly lost in the most restorative sleep of your life. The world has ceased its spin. The day has closed its eyes, and you are home at last in the absolute perfect peace of the deep, dark night. The atmosphere within the deep, subterranean sanctum of Ajanta has now reached a state of absolute, profound equilibrium, where the air itself feels like a suspension of liquid stillness. You are drifting in the absolute center of this sanctuary, a space where the weight of the basalt cliffs overhead provides a protective shield, effectively separating you from the chaotic, noise-filled reality of the surface world. Go out here. The passage of time is no longer measured by the ticking of clocks or the shifting of shadows, but by the slow, rhythmic, and deeply resonant beating of your own heart. Every breath you take is a deliberate, cooling intake of the subterranean atmosphere, a draught of pure, mineral-laden air that cleanses the mind and stills the spirit. There is an overwhelming sense of geological patience here, an immovable, enduring peace that invites you to drop your guard, release your burdens, and simply exist as a part of the quiet, dark, and supportive architecture of the mountain. You can feel the texture of the woven mat beneath you, a grounding, tactile reminder of your presence in this sacred place. It is a humble foundation, yet it feels like the most secure ground you have ever occupied, resting upon the bedrock that has held the weight of these caves for centuries. You are not merely resting, you are aligning yourself with the history of this space, feeling the echoes of those who came before you. The patient artisans, the devoted monks, and the seekers of solitude who found refuge in these dark, cool halls. This connection to the past is a source of immense comfort, a reminder that the human need for stillness is a timeless universal truth. You are not alone in your pursuit of peace. You are part of a long, unbroken lineage of souls who have understood the necessity of retreating into the silence to find their own true essence. The darkness is no longer an absence of light, but a vibrant living presence that envelops you in its soft, velvet embrace. It is a thick, protective fabric that filters out the complexities of your daily life, leaving you with a mind that is clear, calm, and utterly undisturbed. You have no need for sight, and you have no impulse to open your eyes. The visual world, with its endless distractions, its demand for constant engagement, and its relentless stream of information, is completely stripped away. In its place, you have an internal landscape of absolute clarity, a place where the deep royal blue of the lapis lazuli radiates like a steady, comforting flame in the center of your consciousness. This indigo light is the color of the abyss, the color of the quiet oceanic depths, and it is the signature color of the state you are now fully entering. Is an expansive calming frequency that allows your awareness to widen, to settle, and to finally stop trying to contain itself within the boundaries of your ordinary anxieties. Think of the silence not as a lack of sound, but as an abundance of profound, nourishing peace. It is a full, resonant silence that fills the room, pressing gently against the curved walls and returning to you as a subtle, vibrating hum. This is the sound of the mountain's own internal life, a deep, resonant frequency that you can feel in your very marrow. It is a signal of absolute safety, a sonic assurance that all is well, that the world is in order, and that you are granted permission to stop being vigilant. You have dropped your defenses, shed your responsibilities, and silenced the internal critic who usually demands so much of your energy. You are simply allowed to be, and in this state of total acceptance, you find that being is more than enough. You have arrived at the destination of your soul's long desired rest. As the final barriers of your conscious awareness dissolve, you feel a sense of profound weightless expansion. The edges of your physical form seem to be merging with the cool dark air of the workshop until you are no longer a separate entity, but a part of the cavern itself, a silent, peaceful element in a chamber, crafted for the sole purpose of restoration. The artisan's labor is finished, the pigment is ground to a fine dust, and your journey has reached its perfect inevitable transition. You are ready to release the last thread of your conscious existence, allowing yourself to drift out into the deep, dark, and beautiful ocean of the night. There is no destination to reach, only the experience of the descent itself, a slow, gentle, and utterly blissful fall into the cradle of the mountain. You are slipping past the gates of thought, past the boundaries of memory, and into the waiting, perfect dark. The silence is absolute, and you are finally ready to sleep. You are sinking, you are floating, and you are entirely at peace. The sanctuary of the Ajanta cave has folded around you like a cocoon of stone and silence, rendering the outside world completely inaccessible and utterly irrelevant. You are suspended in the deepest, most quiet chamber of the mountain, a space that has been carved not just into the rock, but into the very essence of human contemplation. The air is cool, crisp, and heavy with the scent of ancient dust and the mineral heartbeat of the earth. Every breath you draw feels as though it is traveling from the very center of the basalt, filtering through the weights of the ages to reach your lungs, providing you with a purity of existence that you have never known before. You are no longer navigating the passage toward sleep. You have crossed the threshold and are now drifting in the vast, deep, and silent ocean of your own subconscious. The mountain, with its immovable strength, provides a protective barrier, ensuring that no external disruption can reach you in this state of total blissful surrender. Your body has achieved a level of rest that feels almost transcendental, as if the physical form has finally realized it no longer needs to uphold the weight of a persona. Every tension you arrived with has been systematically dissolved, washed away by the rhythmic pulse of your own steady heart. You feel the floor beneath you not as a hard surface but as a cradle, a supportive structure that has been shaped by the presence of many who sought this same tranquility long before you. There is a sense of belonging in this stillness, a recognition that your need for peace is a fundamental part of the human journey. You are resting on the bedrock of history, and it is a foundation that feels as reliable as the earth itself. The fatigue of the day, the complexities of your thoughts, and the burdens of your identity have all been left behind, discarded like heavy, unnecessary garments at the entrance of the cave. The color of the lapis lazuli, that deep, resonant indigo that has been the constant companion of your meditative journey, remains the hallmark of your inner vision, but it has now expanded to fill the entire darkness. It is no longer just a memory of a pigment, but an atmospheric reality, a soothing, boundless sea of blue that wraps around your consciousness and anchors you in the deep. You find that by drifting within this color, You are able to bypass the last flickers of mental activity, allowing your mind to mirror the stillness of the stone walls. It is a state of profound clarity, a space where you are free from the need to analyze, to plan, or to define. You are simply a vessel of awareness, floating in a dark, quiet, and beautiful expanse, perfectly content to exist without purpose or destination. Consider the profound nature of this stillness. It is the silence that follows the final note of a song, the hush that falls over the forest in the deepest part of the night, and the peace that remains when all questions have been answered. It is an honest, unvarnished state of being where the truth of your existence is revealed not in words but in the simple act of breathing. By participating in this stillness, you are engaging in a practice that has been refined by centuries of meditative tradition. You are connecting to the source of all restoration, the quiet wellspring from which your strength is drawn. And as you feel the mountain's age and stability entering your own frame, you realize that you are also becoming a part of this ancient silent legacy. As the final thin membrane of your waking life dissolves, you feel a sense of absolute weightless joy. The struggle to hold on to maintain the structure of your day has finally ceased. You are letting go of the helm, trusting the current of the night to carry you where you need to go. There is no fear of the dark, only a deep, abiding gratitude for the sanctuary it provides. You are sinking through the layers of memory, past the reach of your worries and into the cool, silent, and restorative depths of sleep. The world above is forgotten. The sun is a distant memory, and you are tucked away in the deepest, most secure corner of the earth. You are resting, you are drifting, and you are finally perfectly and utterly lost in the beautiful, restorative dark.
Sleepy History with Arthur is created for relaxation, entertainment, and sleep purposes.
The stories shared on this channel are inspired by historical events, daily life, and real periods in history.
But they may be simplified, adapted, or narrated in a calming way to enhance the listening experience.
This content is not intended to be a precise academic or educational source. While we aim to stay generally accurate, some details may be altered for storytelling flow and relaxation.
Please do not rely on this channel as a primary source for historical research or study.
By listening, you acknowledge that this content is designed to help you unwind, relax, and fall asleep. Thank you for your understanding and support.